think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane, it's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall, I've come to take it all. I'll take it, I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall, I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty. Best to give me your loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty. They'll be calling me royalty.
with another late night THFCRants show. What do you know? What do you know? Well, today, we beat Shakhtar Donetsk 5-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in a game that I don't know what a lot of people are watching today, but I was a little bit bored this afternoon, so I watched some shows that I don't normally watch, and the views were interesting, none to say the least. But we will get into that today. You know what? Let's start the show by calling some people up. I can't help it after today. Henry Wright TV, son needs to be benched. Stupid opinion. Barry Ranjit, Son Heung-min needs to be benched. Stupid opinion. Son Heung-min was horrible today. Stupid opinion. Stupid opinions. And if any of you in the chat hold that opinion as well, you hold stupid opinions as well. I don't know what game you were watching today, but and I don't know what you expect from Son out of the system, but if you think that he was awful today, I think that's a stupid opinion. And I'm not the only one too. Football.London gave Heung-min Son an 8 today. Said everything that Spurs did good today came through him. SofaScore gave Son 7.3 without an assist and a goal. So 8 crosses, 4 key passes. I don't know what else you expect from a winger playing wide in a Postacoglu system. But yeah, if you thought Son played poorly today, I don't know what game you were watching. And if you thought Manor Solomon was brilliant today in his 10 minutes on the pitch, I don't know what game you were watching. He did absolutely nothing. Didn't take a man, not a single dribble, not a single ground duel won, not a single aerial duel won, not a single chance created. So what did he do that was brilliant? He's full of energy. Harry Kane masterclass when he couldn't play the position at all in the first half. Was never off the back shoulder of the center backs, never playing in that half space, never making those runs. He did it 4 times in the second half. We counted it on the watch along. Go back and watch. We had a Harry Kane out of position tracker, got up to 18 in the second half. In position 3 times, and he scored 3 goals. Right? So if you're going to play 90 minutes and you're only in the position that the manager wants you to be in 3 times and you score 3 goals, wouldn't you think it click in your brain that you should probably be in that position more often? Just say it. Right? Son Heung-min putting crosses in at the right height, at the right angle. Nobody there in the first half. Why? Because Harry Kane was out of his position. I'm just saying. If you're going to shit on Son for doing nothing, then you can't say Kane had a masterclass of a game today. Because he had a penalty in the first half that Madison won off of a pass from Son, by the way. And as soon as Madison received that pass in the next touch, he was taken down. But you're going to say that Harry Kane had a masterclass today for 3 tap-ins in the second half, for being in the position that he should have been in all the first half. Come on now. Sorry, I ain't having it. I'm not having this Son narrative today. People on Twitter saying the Son is going to be awful. Based off of what? Like, what do you guys expect Son to do in this system? Right? People moaned and complained last week the Son was cutting inside too much. And today he wasn't. He was outside on the left, hugging the touchline, putting crosses into the box. What do you want him to do? Just asking. I want people to know. I want people to think if Son was horseshit today, I want to hear your argument for it. A real argument right? Not that your balls tingled when he touched the ball, and so you thought he was gonna be dog shit today. Just want to know. I want to know what your guys' exact reasoning was for that, right? Receiving balls on the left side hand of the pitch, right? Nobody there to play the ball to. Taking a touch, taking another touch. Still nobody to play the ball to because Harry Kane's walking in the midfield. Just saying. Just saying. Make sure you do, please, like, subscribe, give a like, hit that notification bell and all that good stuff. Lily White Lane is in the house as well. Elias with another bad joke. Batter's in the house. Who got else? We got Tot Spurs. Big up Will in the chat. Big yourself up, my man. There's the link there. It is pinned to the top of the chat. Make sure if you want to join the show, you click that link and come on in. Roy is in the house. Big up Roy boy. Boy talk or beer talk. What are we ranting about tonight? Tonight we're ranting about all the idiots out there that are saying Son played bad, and all the idiots out there that said Harry Kane had a masterclass today. So that's what we're talking about. Joseph Monahan, big up my man. Grumpy Grandpa, big up DJ Will. Zaxer Levy emoji. Am I a DJ? I don't know if I'm a DJ. I just don't like awkward background silences on stream, so I feel it. We got Graham's in the house. Hope you were at the protest today, Graham. Hope you are well. Hope everything at the protest did well as well. Who else we got? Scott M. He says the Manor Solomon hype is puzzling at best, stupid at worst. I agree, man. Like what for just like today. Like, okay, the other two games, he played a full 45 minutes. You could say that he had some good take-ons, but the final product wasn't there. The end product wasn't there, blah, 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 blah. Today, he played 10 minutes. Son went out in the 76th minute. Okay, maybe 15 minutes. Right? Tops. And did nothing. I think he had like 12 touches the whole time he was on the pitch. So how could you say he was brilliant in 12 touches of the ball? It's madness. Like, the delusion is real out there. The agendas are so hot and hard right now. Off of preseason matches, I don't know what to say. Van der Ven hasn't even signed his name to the dotted line yet, and people are saying that he's more than a 5 out of 10 signing. Okay. For a guy who's played a U21 captain. And people are mad. Like, that's a good thing. Yeah, it's better than not being a U21 captain. It's U21 captain. People are bigging up a U21 captain with 1 year experience playing at the top level of football in a top 5 league in Europe. And they're shitting on a captain for his national team, right? Who's played for the club for 8 seasons, got a golden boot, and has been one of the best left wingers in the league for the past 5 seasons. Right? So, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man. But it's a weird. This is the world. This is what happens when I watch other streams that I shouldn't watch. Dude, I can't read your name. It's like Seha X Ace. It was just a goal poacher. That's fine. That's what he's supposed to do. The 3 times that he got in the position that he was supposed to be in, he scored a goal. Right? My argument is never that Harry Kane can't fit the system. My argument over this preseason is that Harry Kane is out of position too much. And finally, in the second half, when he attempted to get into that position on several occasions, he scored several goals. That's all I'm saying. Harry Kane definitely has the quality to be an amazing striker in this system if he gets in the position he was supposed to be. Dane Scarlett played that position far better as far as positionally, right, than Harry Kane did, and he scored a goal within the first 12 minutes of being on the pitch. Just saying. I'm not saying Dane Scarlett's a better striker than Harry Kane, right? I'm not saying that. I'm saying he played the position better. Same way that Richarlison played the position better than Harry Kane has been playing. Spencer Spurs TV's in the house as well. Solomon has looked great. How did he look great today, Spencer Spurs TV? What did he do today? Please tell me what Solomon did that looked great today, because he did nothing. You got to do something to look great, do you not? Or is that just me? Cold Shot is in the house. Savage said we should play bench Son. Would bench Son, LL, this guy. Yeah, well, he's not the only one, man. Perchy TV, Henry Wright. Sean, Barry, Sav, all of them. It's the agenda is getting weird now, right? Because it's not even the stats. Like, it's not even stat guy Will who said the Sun played well today. Football.London had Son Heung-min and their play ratings as an 8, saying that every good thing that Tottenham did today went through Son. So how can the stats and the pundits all say Son played well today, but you got some YouTube guys out there that have a gross agenda against Son, saying he didn't play well at all? If the stats are, I can understand only the stat argument. Will, this is stats. Will, you all about stats? Football Down London doesn't use stats in their player ratings, and they said he was an 8. Just saying. Who else we got? Hayatch is in the house. Big up Hayatch. Orshiman there, man. Yeah, preseason people games do get in people's way. Worst thing was still letting you on this platform. Bias towards Son due to you living in Korea. Change it up. Well, first of all, Stell didn't let me on this platform. I'm a part of the channel. 2, I'm not biased against anybody, right? And if you go watch the watch along, I even said that one of Son's crosses was bad, right? It was too lofty, right? I'm not biased at all. I'm not biased against anybody. I'm just honest, and I'm logical, right? I'm saying, if you think Son played bad today, what's your argument? Give me an argument that it can actually be demonstrated. Right? I'm waiting. Please, somebody give me an argument today of something Son did that was bad that I can actually go verify to be true. And I'll admit I was wrong and that I have a bias towards Son because I lived in Korea. Right? We got Plattis in the house. Big up Plattis. Absolutely, it fits Scarlett better. I'm just saying he just worked better in the system, right? I'm not saying he's a better striker than Kane. I'm saying he worked better. That's all. Alan Robertson. Hi, all. Big up, my man. Who else we got? Thoughts on Ange so far? Ange is fine, man. Not a problem. Spur Squad. Big up, Will. Big yourself up, my man. Yeah, we don't need to be we don't need to be timing people out for being a dumbass, right? People are allowed to be dumbasses. We don't need to time out for being unless they're not being racially abusive or overly like even like people can call me an idiot. People can do whatever they want, but people don't do that. But yeah, Brian Hill was. Look, Bryce, I disagree with you here. I thought Brian Hill was amazing today. I thought he was brilliant. Right? I thought he was way better than Manor Solomon was. Just saying. But all right, that's all the chats we got. Saying hi to everybody. Kane Swan Song. 안녕하세요, J Park. 제가 심한 욕설했어서 미안합니다. 제가 그냥 이 사람들이 우리 손흥민한테 욕하면은 너무 열받습니다. 죄송합니다. 용서해 주십시오. Anyway, let's start bringing in the guests. First guest of the night. Maybe hungover, I don't know.
Tottenham away.
But he was out partying last night.
When we got Tottenham away.
Raving and dancing and jazzing and jibbing and jiving. But he's here with us tonight. Slept all day, play all night. Stelios is in the house. Stel, why'd you let me on this platform?
Because I like the fact that you lived in Korea, and I thought that was a valuable criteria.
Needed someone with a sun bias to add to the channel, like was what it is. Like, oh.
Yeah, I think with look, I'll just go straight in. I haven't seen the game, so I can't comment too much. I've seen just a couple of bits, and I'll talk about that later on. But I think with regards to Heung-min Son, there's a few things here. Number one, I think we can't judge anyone or anything too much in pre-season, and that includes players that are doing well and players that are doing badly. Shakhtar Donetsk were a nothing team for me. Sailors are a nothing team. West Ham almost got relegated. Barcelona on Tuesday will be a good game. But I think after the first 10 games, 10 of the Premier League, then we can really begin to judge players. So I'm not going to judge Son or any other player under Postecoglou unless I've already made up my mind on players. So there's one or two I've already made up my mind, but that's the first thing. Secondly, people on other channels that are saying bench Son, a lot of these people are the same people who wrote off Lo Celso when individuals like me said Lo Celso is a good player, but he's not a versatile player. I've coached players to know the difference between versatility and players that are non-versatile. Harry Kane can play in any system, in any team. He's a very versatile player. Lo Celso is not versatile. However, if you play Lo Celso in the role behind the striker, there's a good player there. You've got to play him there consistently, and he'll flourish. And again, I'm not judging Lo Celso pre-season, but people that are praising Lo Celso saying, look, he looks quite good. Look what an amazing job Ange's done. All Ange's done is played him in his right position in a team that plays the kind of football that gets the best out of Lo Celso. So the channels who do say bad things about Son are also the channels that wrote off Lo Celso. So you can't have your whole cake and eat it, right? You can't just cherry pick what a channel says, but ignore all the stuff they said that's wrong. So I don't think we should do that either. And the last thing I'll say about Son is he had an operation recently. There's no way he's up to full match fitness. There's no way he's up to full game rate readiness. And there's no way that Son is a player that we can fully say, yep, Son's back to his best, and now we can begin to judge him. His rehabilitation is over. I don't think that's the case. I think he's getting his fitness now. However, just to wrap up my little Son opinion, yeah, Son might actually not be as good as he was before. That is a possibility, but to make that decision now is crazy. The whole squad last season, except for Kane, were a disaster. Not one play comes out of last season with flourishing results. And well done, you were great, except for Kane. And that's because he scored the amount of goals he did. We have to look at every player from a clean slate this season and judge it after 10 games. At that point, if you're seeing the things that are making you not like Son, or the things that are not making you like Richarlison or Emerson, or you're liking Lo Celso, or you're liking Pape Sarr, after we played Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, Brentford, once we've done 10 games, I think that's the best place to really judge. And people who are saying Stel is fond of Americans, yeah, I am. I think the Americans, with their statistical analysis and their data-driven models from other sports like baseball, we should embrace it because it's another tool to use when analysing football. Do I think it's the only tool we should use? Never, not at all. But if you listen to what
no tool is any tool. You can never use one tool. Yeah,
exactly. If you listen to what Will says, he does say he watches the game twice and then adds the stats. So look, I like fans all over the world. Eugene, Malaysia. We've got what's his face from South America. We've got the Canadian guy, Brian Daigle. We've got fans all over Europe. I just like people that can try and back up what they say. I think that's the best way to do it.
I just like people who don't have a bias, are honest about what they see on the day, and are willing to use objectively demonstrable information in order to prove their opinion. If the two of us disagree on opinion, how do you divide? How do you see whose opinion is better? You have to go to outside of yourself. You have to go to outside sources, and you have to demonstrate it to be the case. And the only way that you can do that is through statistics, unfortunately. Right? That's just the way that it is. If you think Kulu played well today, and I think Kulu played poorly today, what do we go to say who's right?
Yeah, you need to have some kind of metric to base it by. I think, look, exactly. For me, in 10 games' time, if Son is playing shit, then you're gonna be a little bit in the mud, right? I'm just being honest.
In the mud for what? If he starts to play shit, then he starts to play shit. But my point was he didn't play shit today.
Let me finish. Let me finish. No, yeah, I know what you're trying to say, but just hear me out. If in 10 games, Son is still not what we expect from Son, which is creating goals, scoring goals, and then I think you're a little bit in the mud with fans who watch our shows. However, if in 10 games' time, Son is playing well, scoring and creating, everyone, and I mean everyone who is digging out Sonny, you are going to get absolutely pelted. Because it, like I said earlier on, you can't have your whole cake and eat it. It can't be that way.
But this is what I'm talking about.
Like right now, Lo Celso, every time he has a good game, I call out people. Because
but this is what I'm talking about, Sal. Because
2 years when I'm saying Lo Celso
today, everybody said that James Maddison was amazing. For me, he was the man of the match. For me, right? I said that earlier today on the watch along.
Who, Maddison? I didn't see. Yeah. Was he good today?
Madison. He was good today. He had the most chances created, the most key passes. And I don't know if people know what a key pass is, but it's a pass that leads to a shot, right? And if Son had the second most key passes of anybody but James Maddison, how did he play dog shit today? How is he not creating? Even Kulusevski only equaled Son's chances created, and he ended up with 2 assists off of those same key passes. So how could Son play shit today? I don't understand where people get this. If he was the second most creative player on the pitch, the most crosses of any player on the pitch,
if Son doesn't score, Will, or if Son doesn't create a goal,
that's a horseshit.
Okay, but this is how our fan base will judge him. That is how they look at it. Okay, and that's the debate right there. How maybe the debate should be, how are we judging Son? What are we basing our assessment of Son on? Is it goals? Is it creativity? Is it being involved in the build-up play? Is it his defensive negligence? Is it being pulling players out of position to allow the space to open up for players to exploit? How are we measuring? Because Harry Kane is measured by one thing only: goals.
Because he plays striker. That's his only job.
Yeah, but he could have a terrible game. If he scores 2 goals, well done, Harry Kane. You're doing your bit. The rest of the team.
That was today. He played like shit for 60 minutes and then scored 3 goals, right?
4 goals.
Well, the penalty came in the first half, right? That Maddison and Son set up the penalty.
All right. So I think that's how I'm not saying what I think. I'm just saying what I think fans do. I think fans judge Sonny by assists and by goals. But my problem with this is, if we are going to judge Son by goals and assists, we can't praise Solomon, who doesn't score any goals and creates none. So it can't. No key passes.
I think maybe 1 key pass total for Solomon in the entire minute, right?
Listen,
0
I like
crosses,
Solomon.
14 touches.
I like Solomon. I think
brilliant.
He causes havoc. No, listen. I think he causes havoc.
He had no dribbles today, still not one.
But I think he causes havoc on the ball. I think he causes problems. But hold on, I'm not defending Solomon.
Wow, he's jerky when he moves.
I'm actually backing you up.
Silly. The arguments that these people make is silly.
I'm defending your argument here because for me, I like Solomon. He's a player I thought was a silly freebie purchase, but so far, what I'm seeing, I think he looks like a good player. However, if we're going to measure Solomon because he's exciting on the ball, well then why are we criticizing Son, who doesn't score goals or create goals, but yet Solomon is doing the exact same thing: no goals, no creation? And this is where I begin to say, well, hold on, how are we judging these players? Like, what is the guidelines that you're saying this is how I'm going to judge a player? Because it does seem the metric that Son is being measured by is not being applied to Solomon, and that is unfair. That bit is unfair. The metric, it seems Solomon is being viewed differently on a different set of metrics, yet Son and Solomon playing a similar role. So I don't understand that. That's the only thing I don't understand.
I don't understand what you're talking when people say he played like dog shit today. Like, I can understand, say, if Son not scoring.
I never saw the game, so I don't know.
I know, but if Son not scoring equates to dog shit, right? Needing to be benched, but he had 8 crosses, right, into the box, more than any other player on the pitch, right? Had the second most key passes of anybody on the pitch, right? How is that a dog shit game? because it's his job, right? As a left winger. I mean, he had more crosses than Kulu, right? Kulu got 2 assists, right, to Harry Kane, or 1 assist. Can't remember, 1 or 2.
I'll tell you one problem I've got with today's game. One problem I've got is because I've watched a little bit of YouTube channels tonight, just a little bit, and now I'm coming onto our channel, just listening to how the channel's starting. The one problem I've got with today is Spurs are creating a lot of chances, like 25, 30 goal chances per game at the moment under Postecoglou. Spurs are playing much nicer two-touch football, which we all want to see. And rather than saying, look, things are progressing in the right direction, let's focus on fixing that defense. All we're doing is coming off of every game, Son shit, Kulu shit, Oliver Skipper's shit. It's like, oh my God, man. Like, why are we shitting on our players when we're fucking playing good football and we're creating chances? And not rather than focusing on that and saying it's slowly coming together, but this defense has to be fixed. Instead of that, fuck Skip, fuck Son, fuck. It's like, oh my God, man. That's the only thing I can't stand at the moment because I'm actually enjoying the football. I'm actually enjoying.
We got some guests to bring in. We got four people sitting in the back to bring everybody in quick. First one is Elias. You know he never tells the truth because he's Elias. Elias is in the house. That was an Elias quality dad joke there. What's going on, man?
That was a good one.
It really wasn't. that's the point.
Yeah, I think you can call on the next.
You were
next
on the
guest.
Yeah, you were on the watch along with us, so we'll bring in the next guest. I wonder if he's gonna bring an argument today rather than a hat trick's a hat trick. Let's see what he's got. Everybody chat, show your love for Dietrich Kane.
You have one thing wrong. He's tied with Kane for the second most key passes.
Yeah, they took one away from him later on, but he still had the second most. Kane, Kulu, Son are all there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
on 3 apiece.
Saying Madison was man of the match over Kane, that's pretty...
No, I look at total gameplay, man. Not knocking in 2 passes that were if he would have missed, he would have gotten absolutely crucified for.
Doesn't matter. Still scored 4 goals.
Missed 2 in the first half. They should have scored 2.
Which 2?
The 2 that the old geezer keeper saved before he went off the pitch.
But that was a hard shot, man.
No, it wasn't a hard shot.
That was a hard shot.
It wasn't a hard shot at all.
Oh, but you will crucify Kane, but when it comes to Kulu shooting at the keeper, you won't.
I didn't say Kulu had a good game today. Don't put words into my mouth. I criticized Kulusevski as well. So.
Still scored a hat trick. I don't care.
That's what I'm saying. Still scored a hat trick. We got another one in. We got some more stereotypically racist music here. Michael from Poland is in the house. Big up, Michael. I forget where the polka's from. You told me before, but I forgot.
I
Germany,
think
Austria.
Austria or Czech Republic, I think.
Austria. It was Czech Republic. You're right. It was Czech Republic. We looked it up. What's going on, man? What are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, one main thing I want to say, and I just got like last 10 minutes of the show, right? And you boys were talking about statistics, right? We have this like one really old show in Poland, like, a series basically about like the Polish, like, villages and people living in villages, right? And there was one quote that when the guy said that the American scientists ran like some calculations and calculated that every 5th child comes from from a cheating, right? And this one guy, this like one hobo, gets mad at his wife because he has 6 kids, and he realizes that one of his 5 kids is probably not from him, right? And this is basically how I look at people who say that stats are useless, right? That they don't understand the statistics completely. And
I agree.
It's literally, for me, it's like people who struggled with maths in school and said that they will never use maths are the ones that struggle with calculating how much a six-pack will cost when they are presented with the price of one beer. That's basically it, right?
Yeah.
Like the concept of statistics, like
But, I mean,
a
I
pain
think-
in the ass, because like every time I can come on to the show and say that statistics are a useful tool that you can use, but without context, they mean nothing, right? You have to apply
Sure.
the context to them.
100%.
But it's so stupid because you can die on this hill, like you do every time. I mean, you don't die on the hill, but you get the point, right? It's
I mow people down from the hill that I'm set up on is what I do. I mow people down. I saw a funny reel lately, and it said the difference between. So apparently there's some German soldiers and some American soldiers, and they were doing some training, I guess, in Germany. And you had this young German soldier sitting behind a machine gun, right? This big, 50 caliber, chain gun. And he's sitting there and he's pushing the button like one time and shooting like 2 rounds down the range, 2 rounds down the range, 2 rounds down the range. And the American instructors tapped him on the back of the head. He's like, "It's a machine gun. Hold the button down." And so then he's like, check. But it's like he couldn't get the aspect of what a machine gun is. And it's like, and no offense, and I know that my wife doesn't really watch my show, so I'll be safe on this one. But it's like when we go grocery shopping, right? And I go to the big bag of cheese, right? That is 38 cents per ounce. And she wants to go down to but it's $20. And then she goes and looks at the $10 bag of cheese that is 0.7 cents per ounce, so 70 cents per ounce. And she's like, "This one's cheaper." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's not cheaper. It costs less, but it's not cheaper."
Yeah.
Right? There's a difference between being like the dollar to value or the dollar to the amount that you get for every ounce, right? You got a 1 pound bag and a 2 pound bag. If the 2 pound bag is 0.38 cents per ounce and the 1 pound bag is 0.70 cents per ounce, it's not cheaper. It's more expensive. You're paying almost 2 times the amount. If you were both to buy buy double the amount, it would cost you twice as much money. And that's how people get with statistics.
This is
I pity Mrs. Stewart right now because Will even does stats at the grocery shopping.
It took 9 minutes to stop talking about football.
The thing is with statistics, so many people, Dietrich, I can't even hear when you speak.
Yeah, you're on muffled.
No, is it better?
Put the mic volume up, man.
Okay, give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's like the thing with statistics is people argue, like today I was watching a show, I can't remember what I was watching. Someone was arguing, statistics are rubbish because it says 90% pass completion, but how do you know if the passes are sideways or backwards? It doesn't show you that. It does if you look at progressive passes.
Yeah.
You're looking at the wrong stat. That's why.
Or you're not looking at enough. You're not looking at enough stats.
Is it better?
They don't want to look at all the stats because if they do that, they will prove themselves wrong in some cases. And 2, if they look at all the stats, it actually means now they're analysing the stats, which they're so against, so they refuse to look at it.
Is my mic better?
A bit.
Yeah, it's just a volume. But look, anyway, I'm not here to defend stats. I've said earlier on, you need to use lots of different tools. Stats is one.
Fuck the stats, Stelios. We've got someone here who's gonna mud the wrongins,
By the way,
cuss
big up
out the
Michael
sun
and Connor.
haters, everybody in the chat. Show your love to CQ.
Hey everyone! I
See you
think
later.
I heard
Take
some.
care. Bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
No, I heard some slander of the goat, Sonny, and it invoked the Dark Knight of Justice to come forward. So yeah, I mean, I just I was in the chat a little bit, and then I just felt like I should come on to talk a little bit about how it doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal. It's preseason. What the hell is everybody making such a big deal about? In any which way, by the way.
Well, when we have shit center backs, shit midfielders, of course we're gonna complain about something.
Well, I mean, but that's always there. You know, that's like, until we get a change in that, that's always there. But I'm talking about like individual performances. I mean, like, it is what it is, right? I mean, like, if we're talking about, oh, Sonny didn't score goals or whatever it is, and that's what matters, that's going to indicate his season, is whether or not he scores goals or assists goals in preseason, and that's really going to indicate everything, then in that case, Dyer should have had an amazing season last season because he scored a banger in preseason.
It's almost as if people expect Sonny to score a banger, like, 13-meter screamer into the roof of the net, right? People expect him to do it every single game, right? It's simply not possible, right? The fact that the guy doesn't score doesn't mean that he was playing bad, right? It's exactly the point that Stel made, that Will made, right? And also, I hate the fact that even though we are playing an enjoyable brand of football, it's so enjoyable to watch us, right? Instead of focusing on what was bad in that game, really bad, which was our defending of set pieces again, right? And highlighting that issue, people are going like, oh, Crew was shit, the Kane was fucking shit, Son was fucking shit, Madison, he's useless. Like, I've seen so many ridiculous opinions after every single one of those preseason matches that, like,
Michael, we won 5-1 and we're shitting on players.
Yeah,
it's.
I mean,
we won 5-1, and we're shitting on players who got an 8 out of 10 rating from Football.London. Like, forget the statistical rating, right? Like, from Ali Gold, right, and his little bench up there on the thing. And I think I even looked. I can't remember if it was like 90-minute football. I looked there too, and they gave him a 7, right? Which isn't 7 out of 10. That's good, is it not? 7 out of 10. On an opinion scale, right? You're talking where this gets down to 2s, 3s, and 4s if people play poorly. And Son was dog poo poo. But let's bring in Jason G. I can't find your James Bond music, so I figured I'd give you this one instead.
I saw you looking for it. I don't know why we're all worried about that. I mean, like, the thing that bothered me about that game was how easily we got cut apart by a simple.
Yeah.
Like, fuck everyone else. Sort that back four. Excuse my language. Sort that back four out. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we're gonna score goals. Don't worry about that. We are gonna score goals. It's like how many we leak. That's the thing you should be worried about.
I agree. And don't worry about cussing this stream, because I got dinged for ad suitability before I even went live. Don't tell me how that happens. my stream had limited ads because of ad suitability, which means our stream wasn't suitable for all advertisers before I even went live. So
okay.
That's good. That's the first time that's happened.
Yeah,
before.
like you know what I mean? I saw some things that weren't fantastic, but again, you've still got a team that, let's be honest, by anyone's standards, are still learning a new system. They haven't played enough pre-season friendlies, which isn't entirely their own fault.
Yeah.
And the pre-season friendlies they've played haven't been up to a good enough standard. So, like, I'm not worried about that. Like I said, it's our defence. Or some of our defenders are not suitable for the style of football that we're going to be trying to play.
Jason,
that's the problem.
Yes,
do
you know what? Do you know what? By the way, big up, man. Long time no speak.
Yeah.
Do you know what a lot of people aren't looking at? The comparison between the ratios. Let me give you an example. Well, not an example. Let me give you a fact. Okay. We create 30 chances. We score 5, right?
Right.
The game before, we created 28. We scored 5.
Mhm.
So for every, let's say for every 5 or 6 chances, we score 1. So our ratio is, let's call it 5 to 1. Goals created, goals scored.
I know what you're going to say.
Right, goals conceded. We give away, on average, 1 or 2 good chances, we concede.
Yes.
Which is, to me, the ratio of goals created against us and converted compared to what we create and score means if we get into a 50-50 game, we're getting battered. Absolutely battered. If we get into a game where the other team creates more than we do, we're getting battered. So as it stands right now, unless we dominate the chances and we dominate possession in a game, we're in big, big trouble. And that's the bit where I think a lot of fans need to just calm down, enjoy the football, enjoy the progression of the team. But I agree with Jason here, 100%, because the ratios for me are worrying. That defense is shocking, absolutely shocking. Right now.
Last year proved that.
But look at this, Son ducking. He didn't duck. He jumped for a ball to head, and it was way over his head, and so he just kind of shrugged back down. You consider that ducking? Kulu launched a ball about 5 yards above Son's head. Son went to jump, and then as he was coming down, kind of tilted his head like, what the hell was that pass? And you want to blame Son for ducking.
By the way, so what if he did? That was one cross. You want to tell me that you didn't enjoy 90 minutes of football because Son ducked once? Like, fuck's sake.
He jumped for the ball, though.
I know he did.
If you want to talk about terrible, it's like someone explained to me and nobody got like that goal they scored.
Yeah.
I felt like I don't blame the keeper. He had no chance. Like, who was? What? I don't even have words to describe how bad that defending was.
I do blame the goalie a little bit.
Back there, the only ones back there. Everybody else,
and he just goes in there, and it's like, what? Nobody, just nothing. Like, what the fuck?
It was David and Basuma, not even a centre back. It was Basuma and Ben Davies, and Ben Davies is 5'10".
No, it weren't. It weren't. Basuma weren't playing.
Who was the?
It was Doji. It was a Doji and Davies. If it was those two,
it was a Doji and Davies.
Yeah.
Doji, okay. So Ben Davies, 5'10". He's not going to outjump someone who's 6 foot plus. So that was obvious.
Yeah, but dude, if you watch it, he didn't even see him. He like ghosted between. Like, it was embarrassing.
Do you know what? I'm tired of defending Davies after 10 years. Like, the guy's. Anyway, not defending. I'm tired of slagging him off because. But I don't defend him. But I'll defend players who've been here for 2-3 years, maybe not given a real chance. But the ones that have been in 9-10 years still here, I've got no time for at all. But this goalkeeper worries me as well. That's the second time we've conceded a goal from a set piece, and he doesn't come off his line and try and punch it. Come off your line, man. This is what Hugo used to do. Hugo Lloris never came off his line, and it costed us. And this goalie, I don't know why he's doing the same
David
thing.
would have prevented all 3 of those goals.
He doesn't seem to be an aggressive goalkeeper.
He's going to Arsenal as a backup keeper for £20 million, by the way, David.
Yeah, but like, dude, that ain't our fault though.
It is. We could have bought him.
No,
we had personal terms with David Raya. What are you talking about?
But they wanted fucking double that from us.
So pay it. Yeah. I'd rather pay 40 and get a player that doesn't concede 3 goals.
Right, I'm sorry, but that's too fucking much money for David Raya.
Hold on.
It is. They wanted over 40 on mil for him. They were bending us backwards for that.
It's not your money. Don't worry about it.
Hold on.
Our money. Don't worry.
The question is. Wait, hold on. The question is,
who else went in at 40 mil for him?
Why is it 40 mil for us?
For Tottenham,
why
is
it
20 for
for
Arsenal?
Well, no, it's logical. It's the time of the market. They thought other people were going to come in, and they didn't.
So then we should have held out longer then.
Let me clear the air, because I read the news. Arsenal are bidding 23 million. It's not that Brentford are asking for 23 million. Arsenal are bidding that amount. There's no guarantee that whether they'll accept the bid or not.
Well, they're kind of They're running
Money
out of
to
time
do that.
is the problem. Because they've already bought a replacement and he's already told them he don't want to play there. So they got to do something with him. Someone's going to get him way cheaper than they want to sell him for. The problem is we needed a replacement keeper and you can't fucking hinge our entire season on whether they're going to actually
Raya
play
was the third
ball or
best
not.
keeper in the league last year.
Oh, I'm not
Third
saying he will. I'm not saying he's not a
You
good
gotta let me
keeper.
hear me. You gotta hear me out.
Go on, man.
Why is he not worth 40 million when you have the top keepers in the league, right? Like Allison, Ederson, etc., going for 80 plus million, right? Why is David Raya not worth 40 million pound if he was the third best keeper in the league, which put him below Allison and Ederson?
Well, because of the market. Like,
What market's higher than it used to be when Allison was signed?
When they asked for 40 plus million from us and we said no, how many of these other clubs, no, hear me out, how many of these other clubs went, fuck it, here's your money, bang. Did Man U go in there who were desperate for a keeper and just slap the money in their hands? No.
No, they paid more for Onana.
They paid more.
Oh, but Man United paid more for Onana.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why?
Chelsea went and paid more for Sanchez.
No.
They paid more than 20 for Sanchez.
25.
They didn't
Yeah,
pay,
roughly
25,
25, right.
didn't pay
No, it
45
was 20.
million or whatever it was they wanted from
by
us.
the way, by the way, to clear this.
Yeah, but they already had Kepa and what's his name? They bought a third keeper without even needing
No,
one.
they just sold Mendy.
Mendy, yeah.
Yeah, is my mic
But
worse?
they still got Kepa.
That's okay.
Your mic is okay.
It's okay. Okay, good.
It's better.
No, but you gotta think about it. Raya has 1 year left on his contract, so nobody's gonna pay 40 million for 1 year left.
Right. So therefore, so Dietrich, therefore, same logic. How can we ask for 100 million for Kane? Who's got 1 year left on his contract.
I never said like it's not. I never said
I'm
it's not.
asking you.
No,
It's not
because my question was, why is he not worth 40 million pounds?
No, it's worth. No. For the club, it might value this, but other clubs might say no, it's not worth it for 1 year left. Us, a club can say, yeah, I value him at that price, but other clubs might say no. So everyone looks at Raya.
How much did Arsenal pay for Kai Havertz?
65.
How much did they pay for Declan Rice?
100.
5.
Yeah.
Okay, was Declan Rice the third best, defensive midfielder last season?
Well, it depends on the club.
No.
Some clubs might
know
say
what?
no.
Was Kai Havertz the best striker in the league last season?
We are the
No?
only fan base. I swear to God, we are the only fan
The
base.
best striker in Chelsea.
We are the only fan base in English football that argues over what we think we should pay for a player.
Oh, I'm not arguing. No, I'm not arguing, dude. Like, I don't. All I'm saying is,
I'm saying the whole Spurs fan base.
okay, they got
all
greedy.
say Raya's too much, or they say this player. For example, Jason, it works the same both ways. As soon as we sign Solomon, oh, he's free. Oh, he's fucking free. It's like they argue it when it's too cheap, and then they moan when it's too high. It's like,
oh no,
what do we want as a fan base? Like, what do we want?
You're talking to one of them, and that's Will Stewart.
I was
he's
merely
not-
just pointing out why.
I think there's a value to players, right?
No, on
But
Twitter,
what
you're
I'm
not
saying,
happy.
hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. I agree that there is a value. I think players are worth their money. I think Declan Rice, with Arsenal played way overpaid for Declan Rice. I would rather overpay for a player and get the one that we need than go buy some average B choice because we didn't want to overpay. I would rather overpay for Raya at 40 million pound, right? Than underpay and pay for Vicario, who is an average keeper at best.
No, Vicario.
By the way,
And Vicario's a good keeper. That's a lot.
Why is he
I
good?
was going to say, like, well,
He's
my
a good
jury's
keeper.
out. On
He hasn't been
I
good this
haven't seen
preseason.
But it's been 3 games with the
Okay,
worst
but
defense.
you said he's a good player. When was he a good player?
With Empoli in the Serie A.
Okay, and
That's
how many
what-
goals? Where did he finish in their goalkeeper statistics levels? Of what rank?
Because he had the worst defense in front of him.
Oh, he had the worst defense. That's why he conceded a bunch of goals.
Yes.
Okay, it's not because he's shit goalkeeper.
No.
Okay, then how do you know he's good?
No, he's good. No, he's good because when you see at the
Stop
saves,
it.
he make no. He makes good saves, and every big club like AC Milan and Etu wanted to buy him.
Goalkeeper's supposed to make saves.
Yeah,
Lloris makes good saves, Dietrich.
Yeah, I never said Lloris is a bad keeper.
Lloris can go do 2 worldies in a row, do like a triple save where he falls down 4 times, saves it 3 times, and the last one he'll toss it into the goal himself. Right? That's the point.
Yeah, Lloris is not an average keeper.
Boom, 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 bam, bam, bam. But he sucked. He literally lost us 5 games last season. 5.
No slandering on Lloris while I'm on here. He's leaving. Let him go. He's our captain. He's been a servant to this club. You know, no slandering on Lloris.
Not slandering. Slander is
Michael's been trying to speak for like 10 minutes.
What's up,
no worries. I completely get the concerns with Vicario, right? But I will fall back on what Stel said. I'm willing to give the guy like 10 games, then I will judge how he is performing, right? Because like 2 45-minute stunts and 1 game against Shakhtar Donetsk. I get the concerns, like he should have stopped some of the crosses, right? I won't blame him for one of the headed goals, the Danny Ings one, because I don't feel like it was his job to protect it there, right? But the other 2 goals, I think he either should have made a better save or try to prevent the cross from reaching its target, right? But one thing I want to point out that I actually liked with Vicario, especially today, was that whenever he got the ball into his feet, if it was Lloris, the ball would have ended up like in the stands or at the opposition half. Whereas he was calm enough, at least I felt like it. I didn't look into the stats, but I felt watching him that he was.
He wasn't really pressured on the ball, though. We'll see when he gets pressured on the ball.
I mean, they pressured him a couple of times, right? And he didn't just boot it into the field. He passed it to the center backs, which is way better than whatever Lloris was doing, especially last season, right? So in that regard, I actually liked what I saw. Again, so I completely get the concerns with his like.
But I agree with you that with the ball at his feet, he's a better dribbler, right? Than Lloris is, right? When he's pressured and he has to, use his feet in order to beat a man, he's way better. Of course, he's younger. He's been taught a modern goalkeeping style where they have to be almost as good as with their feet as defenders are, right? Or coaches would like them to be. But the problem for me was, and I don't know if you saw it today, but the first thing is his decision making is very scared. He doesn't commit to things, and that's the biggest mistake you can make as a goalkeeper. Is not make, whether it's the right decision or the wrong decision, you just got to make it and go, right? And him kicking the ball out of bounds, right? In the previous one that led to the corner that we ended up conceding from, and then today I don't know if you saw it where he made a save and then rather than punching it away, he kind of he half caught it, half punched it at the same time, and it dribbled like 5 yards in front of him, and he almost lost it to the defender that was pressing him, right? Like he just barely grabbed it at the last minute. You can't do that. If you get a faster guy, you get Mohamed Salah who's chasing that ball down, it's in the back of the net. You get Jack Grealish chasing that ball down, it's in the back of the net, right? Like you can't. And then the goalkeeper that we've always wanted or needed is somebody who commands their box, and he doesn't command the box at all, right? Like he may be good with the ball at his feet, but that's one of 3 aspects. I would rather get Raya, who's maybe not the best shot stopper, but really commands the ball with his box and one is the best distributor of the balls of all time.
Yeah, I agree. I want to try. I think Raya is better than Vicario, right? Again, I completely get the consensus with Vicario. I am just willing to give him more time, right, before I judge him properly.
Yeah.
That's my point, right?
And I'm not saying he can't be good. I'm just saying right now he's not showing the signs to me that he's a better goalkeeper than Raya.
Yeah, the reason why I bring it up because again, like the thing that I mentioned when I came onto the show, right? I've seen so many people like berating the guy, saying we wasted our money, we never should have signed him, right? And nobody mentions Davies, who got beaten to the ball by a Shakhtar Donetsk winger, right? It's context, people, because like I sometimes just don't know how to behave around this fan base because they always berate the new guy, they always berate the veterans that are performing day in day out, right? But they never focus on the shit that's still in this team and point out their mistakes.
I think it's because the average players, like the fringe, that aren't like horrible, like a Davy or a Dyers, or people who make straight up mistakes. the kind of, I guess you could say, quiet players, and I don't mean quiet in the sense of like they're actually quiet, but just because you don't think about them, right? You don't think about it nobody sits there and watches a game and is like, what's Davies doing today? Right? You know what I mean? So until they actually, and Davies isn't a guy who's really going to make a handful of mistakes. He might make one or two, slight half mistakes, right? That end up costing us something somewhere. But he's not one that's like, Dyer, where he trips over his own feet or runs off the pitch to go take a shit, right? Like he doesn't do stuff like that. So we don't really pay attention to him. Højbjerg is like that. Sometimes I forget he's even playing.
Yeah.
Right? Like
he's
just boom. And it's until he does something really good or really bad, you don't even notice that he's even on the pitch, right? Until I go and look at the stats on the day and he got like a 7.8 on SofaScore because he had 237 touches. And, it's like, wow, like I didn't know. Like, how could you touch the ball that time and I forgot you even played, right?
Well, I have a question for you. Do you think Alisson commands his box, yes or no?
Alisson, yes.
Alisson
Absolutely.
does.
That's what he does the best.
I'm just looking at SofaScore right now. Like, do you know the attribute overview? And I'm looking at Vicario has a better rating than Alisson when it comes to aerial.
Why do you keep turning your background noise off? You can't do that.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. No. Sorry, guys.
Dietrich's better ratio for what?
Aerial when it comes to high claims.
Yeah, but no. We need to look at isn't amount of aerial claims. Look at the ones that are opposed versus unopposed.
Oh, okay.
That's what you want to look at. Look at the ones that are opposed, where he's actually under pressure.
I'll put it up in a little bit, but we got
Yeah. Dietrich's his win percentage of aerials is not better than Alisson.
we got to, and that's it. Could also be if you're looking at the number too. You have to look at Alisson may have not been put under pressure as many times, so you can't look at totals. You have to look at percentages. De La Spurs is in the house. What's up, my man?
So, Will, how you guys doing?
I am doing good. Does my mic sound like overly bassy, or is it just me?
No,
it's fine.
Sound good?
Oh, no, you got a touch of the Barry White's going on there, bud.
Do I? Like, it sounds to me like it's overly like, yeah.
It is a little bassy, but it's not a bad thing.
How about now? Is that fixed or is that worse?
Oh, nailed it.
That sounds good.
But no. What's up, man? Daily Spurs, what do you think? Sun was dog shit today. What are your thoughts?
I mean, as far as the game and how it went, I think today kind of served as an example for a lot. I think a lot of Spurs fans that were saying, if Kane would fit in the system or not. I think it's a perfect example of when you're as good as Kane, it really doesn't matter kind of what your previous play has been with other teams or other managers. When you're just that good, you're just gonna be able to put the ball away and put it in the goal. And he got a hat trick. Seemed kind of like, I don't want to say passive with the penalty, but kind of like a passive hat trick since it wasn't 3 goals from continuous play. But
the second 3 he scored 4 goals today, actually,
or 4 goals. So okay, yeah. So he still technically got a hat trick besides the penalty. So
yeah.
But I mean, all in all, yeah, I think it was just a good example. I think a lot of Spurs fans are going to be now wanting him to stay and to try to, I guess motivate him to try to negotiate with Levy and try to stay here at Spurs. I still don't think he wants to stay here, but
negotiate with Levy.
Yeah,
it's like trying to negotiate with cancer, my man. Only way to get rid of it was through radiation.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm sorry. You can go.
Sorry, Dallas, before you go, I got a funny question to ask. Sorry.
But I was gonna say, as far as the other performers in the game, I think for Son, I kind of what I appreciated was I did see some efforts to try to get some crosses in from his side. I mean, as far as him and Kane being the best duo pretty much in the Premier League as far as goals and assists, I think it will take Son a little bit more adjustment to try to find, I guess, to make his role in the system and do it well. and do it at a high level, the level that he probably achieves to do it. So I think it's going to be some growing pains. I think, like we saw today, some crosses, some bad crosses, missed passes here and there. But all in all, I think he's going to grow into. I think Son's going to perform well this season, in my opinion. I think he's going to bounce back ultimately. I think he wants to bounce back. I think there's just a lot of factors, I think, in last season that kind of ruined his momentum. And, at the end of the day, I think one of the players that's probably going to step up the most, I think, this season, in my opinion. But I'm just kind of throwing that out there for Son. I'm a Son fan, so I mean, just seeing him kind of play not the best, especially last season, and then a little bit in the preseason games as well. I think he's gonna bounce back, though, for real.
You're a Son fan? Don't say that. That's a dirty title. Don't label yourself a Son fan.
I don't
man.
So disgusting to say that you're a Sun fan. If you're a Sun fan, you must be Korean, because only Koreans love Sun.
I don't know why I invited you onto this platform. It must have only been because you lived in Korea before.
Have you lived in Korea before? Asia before?
Oh man, but no, I don't live in Korea, so I know that might be the mold as far as Suns fans go. But
that logic doesn't work then.
I'm getting sick and tired of this Sun talk.
But by the way,
to be honest with you,
I'm getting sick and tired.
But I want to go over, and I'm gonna do this really, really quick, right? Only because I don't want to bore a whole lot of people. But Dietrich is trying to play his role at statistics.
No, I got it wrong. I just checked.
I was gonna say.
I got it wrong.
Because I pulled over the past 3 years, and this is just for fun. Save percentage, right? So save percentage for the past 3 years out of David Raya, Alisson, Onana, Thiago Costa, Vicario, and David De Gea. David De Gea was last. Raya was first with a 76.8% save percentage, right? And he also was in, in the sweeper role. You have defensive actions outside the penalty area, defensive actions outside the penalty area. As far as the sweeper is concerned, Alisson was the #1 sweeper keeper in the league over the past 3 years. David Raya was #2. Guess where Guillermo Vicario was? Dead freaking last.
You mean the Italian William?
Yeah, the Italian William. Right. So, and what was the other one you wanted us to look at, Still?
It was coming off your line.
Yeah. That's defensive actions outside of the or inside the area.
No. Inside the area, but when opposed, not unopposed.
Yeah. So crosses stopped percentage-wise. You had Thiago Costa. That's all they got. They don't have one that's opposed or unopposed, right?
See, they have
crosses. They have crosses stopped. Percentage of crosses into a penalty area which were successfully stopped by the goalkeeper, right? Here's the deal. David Raya was #2. Alisson was #3, and Vicario was way down the line at #4.
Verdict is still out on Vicario, in my opinion. I was like, we'll see how things play out. That being said, when it comes to Raya, he is Premier League proven. I'm not necessarily like all about Raya. I think there's some overhype going on there, and personally I feel there is. That being said, he is Premier League proven. He was our first choice, I suppose. Then in that case, why wouldn't we just go for him? Kind of what you guys were saying earlier. I mean, like, I don't really care. Just like go for your first choice. Every time it's like we wanted Skriniar. And then we got Sanchez, we want, you know what I mean? Like, it's, why does it always have to be that gap of settling for second?
No, but at least Vicario, like everyone, like in Italy, like rates him and think he's a good keeper. He might surprise. Well, Inter fans, AC Milan fans, Juve fans, everyone wanted.
Mourinho said Oliver Skip's going to be a Tottenham captain. Do you really want to listen to what? I mean, people say things. Sometimes people say things.
Yeah, also said that
he might surprise you. I'm just saying he might surprise you guys. Just give him time.
But if you look at post shot expected goals conceded, Vicario is number 2. When you look at shots stopped, he's like 3rd from bottom, right? So he's 4th out of 6, right? When you have when you do shot stopped per plus or minus xG, he's like at the bottom of the list. Like I don't understand. And he's not new. He's played. He started. Right? He has out of 90 minutes plays amount of game time, he's the fourth most caps or appearances out of Alisson, Rea, David De Gea, Vicario, Thiago Costa, and Andre Onana. Right? Like I don't understand why. Like, look, if Vicario had come out this preseason, say his stats were average, you know, and he comes out and he's just the boss on the pitch, and you didn't see anything shaking, you didn't see any problems, then I could easily say, you know what? He could be really good. But right now, his stats are bad compared to the other options that we could have easily gone out and gotten. We had agreed personal terms with David Rea. He wanted to come to the club, but we refused to play what I believe he's actually worth, right? And every single stat over the past 3 years, he comes either first or second in every major goalkeeping stat.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Don't you think that this fans...
Beatrix, before you do that, I just want to say, Della Spurs, Elias, Michael, Cube, Jason, Will, everyone, good night. I have to go. I'm done. But very quickly,
just go to practice.
How
do you think Mickey van der Ven will do before you go? So.
Yeah, I was just going to say regarding the super chat, I did a hour and a half player analysis, and I compared him to Tap Sober as well. Go on the channel, watch the video, and everyone else here can give you their opinions as well. All right, guys, love you all. Take care.
Yeah. By the way, Stel,
Bye,
before you go, I
Sally.
want to ask you something. Did you find any girl at the party or anything?
Good night.
Bye, Stelly.
Oh yeah,
Elias,
Will, I also want to ask
jeez
you
Louise.
something.
What?
There's this thing that Bryce put in the chat. He was saying that the babies are the best dribblers. What does that mean?
What?
He was saying something. Bryce was saying something just now.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that, dude. We're having a conversation. Like don't derail the conversation, right?
Okay, can I
Dietrich was talking about how everybody
how Vicario's
he's heard
great
about
because everybody
Vicario.
says so.
No, I was asking
Awesome.
Manus question. If I'm not mistaken, did Ramsdale have some bad stats before he joined Arsenal?
I don't think so.
But he wasn't that good compared to last year.
I can add Ramsdale to this list. Let's take off Thiago Costa because he's too young, and we'll add Ramsdale to this list.
Because
Right,
if you
but
put a good defense, it matter.
To his point, you want to look at Ramsdale before he joined Arsenal.
Yeah, I do 3 years. These are 3 years number. I never look at a single number, so I do 3. So we'll go from the age of 22 at Sheffield United, the 2020-21 season, to last season. We'll get our results. I don't ever look at one single year because that's how you get burned, right? Because anybody can have. You gotta. I use a minimum of 3. I like to do 5, but
it's like all those people saying Kulu was the next coming of Christ because he had a good half a season when he got.
Yeah. You don't want to judge a player off one season.
That half of season was pretty good, right? But
yeah, it was pretty good.
I just wouldn't mind
half a
seeing
season was better than his whole season last year.
Right.
So
I just wouldn't mind seeing a quarter of that the following season, but we didn't even get that.
But when you look at
he was injured and stuff, we'll see how it plays out.
So
Can you share your screen?
Yeah, I can share it real quick.
Please? Thank you.
Let's see. Where's my here's that thing? I was gonna share it, but then you guys told me not to because people don't like stats. So.
Oh, I love stats. Get them up there.
I love stats, man.
Well, no, when we're talking about them, it's relevant.
You think Will, if you don't love stats, we'll be on this show?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't. So you can look at your save percentage, right? This is over the past 3 years. You got David Reyes, number 1, Allison's number 2, Onana number 3, Ramsdale, and number 4, Vicario way down here, and number 5, and David De Gea's down here, right? So the last 3 years.
0.1% below.
Yeah, Ramsdale and Vicario.
Yeah, but
Over
David
3
De Gea
years.
won the Golden Glove, right? So he's like better than the one who won the.
So you're looking
Golden
at their clean sheet percentage, right? Vicario's way down there at the bottom. Allison's obviously at the top. So this is going to be based on the defense as well, right? This isn't solely a goalkeeper.
Yeah, because like Empoli is fucking trash, right? So
yeah,
you know, you have to kind of look at it. But I get the point that
but even
he's also
Brentford,
the goalkeeper, right?
yeah, but even Brentford isn't a top 4 team, and he's still pulling 34.6 clean sheets out of Brentford. What other ones is relevant here? So let's go goal against. That's free kicks, corner kicks allowed. So let's go launched, completion percentages. Right, Onana, Allison, Rhea, as far as the best completion, and they're pretty close to each other. You got Vicario's below that, but it's a pretty significant drop, right? 7% drop in his completed distribution.
It's the same as De Gea's.
Yeah, it's pretty bad at distribution. So this is what I was talking about here. You got opponents' attempted crosses into a penalty area. That's the number of crosses faced. Crosses stop, but you look at the stop percentage. And you have David De Gea again talking about command in the box and coming out and grabbing those balls from crosses to prevent headers and stuff like that. Number 1, right? 7.5 per game, right? Versus Rosario, 5.8.
Yeah, 5.5.
Right? Sweeper, you got opposition's defensive actions outside the penalty area. Allison's number 1, David Reyes number 2, Ramsdale, Onana, David De Gea, Vicario, it's the least with 0.82 sweeper actions per 90.
Could you remove David Raya and put in Hugo Lloris? How does it compare to Hugo? Just out of curiosity, because like I feel like, listen, I know we should be aspiring to have like one of the best keepers in the league, right? But Onana, you know, Alisson, David Raya, those were the best keepers in the Premier League, right? And the guy played for Empoli, so like.
Right. What I'm saying is we could have had one of the best keepers in the Premier League. That's what I'm saying.
I get the point. That's why
we
I
can
also
still
said,
have him actually.
Cool.
I mean, we could go out because we only paid 17 million for Vicario. We could go out and get David Raya, but other people are going in for him now. So let's go back to this real quick, just because it's save percentage. You know, Hugo Lloris is right here above Aaron Ramsdale, 72.9 versus David Raya, 76.8. Vicario down there at the bottom, not much different than Ramsdale, but worse than Hugo Lloris.
But you can't tell me that save percentage, the Onana's a better. He saves more than Hugo Lloris.
Yeah, he does. It's
does.
literally the case. You can't say that he doesn't.
No, I'm not saying he doesn't, but like if you watch him,
you can't tell me Onana has a better save percentage than Hugo Lloris when he literally does.
No, because 1%. when you watch Onana, I
don't care about when you watch.
No, because he's a terrible shot stopper.
I'm pissing on your eyeballs right now because I don't care about you watching anything. The numbers are 73.3% to 72.9. Right? He is 0.5% better than Hugo Lloris at saving. Right? It's math, man. Goals against per 90, shots on target against, saves, right? That's where this number comes from. Shot on targets against and save percentages. You divide the two numbers and you get the percentage. That's it.
Is there a stat that could show the save percentage from difficult shots?
From difficult shots?
By the way, one thing to keep in mind with Onana's stats is that he was banned for 1 or 2 years, right? In the period that you selected for doping or whatever, right? Because when you look at the amount of shots faced and
it's
like
50.
look at it, like everyone has like 400 something shots faced, right? Yes,
right, but a percentage is
of course, percentages work the same, right? But
it's over a smaller period, though.
You can save 10 out of 10 shots and have 100% like save rate, but you can save 90 out of 100 and have a 90%, right? But in a sense, you can attribute some of those saves 10 out of 10 to luck, right? Whereas when you do it over the luck,
because if you shoot at someone, the keeper of course is gonna count as a save, but
Okay,
If you
so
you have to show me the difficult shots that he saved.
what,
then I
high
will judge.
XG shots?
Bro,
Yeah, high XG
bro,
shots.
bro,
I
he
don't know
was
if they do
bad
a
at
high
XG shots.
XG.
Because
shots.
what showing me save percentage means nothing.
Well, it
Sure it
does mean
does.
something, right? But
It shows you how many
It
saves
shows
they
you percentage of saves that you saved.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make the argument that Hugo Lloris has faced more shots than Andre Onana, but that's just because Inter has a better defense than Tottenham. So he may not be having to defend or make as many saves as
That's
Hugo
what
Lloris
this-
because you don't have the Tottenham's front line in front of you. So
That's why you have
that
to
could
apply
also be it as
context.
well.
Even Brentford have a good defense. They have a really good defense.
I actually, funnily enough,
But
they
you
had,
can't
like,
take that away from the goalkeeper if he's
I'm not
still
taking
making
away.
saves with a good defense.
Yeah, because this
I mean,
is
that's
saves.
just-
This is based off shots
yeah,
on
he's
target.
still making the saves. So
Look, if you're looking at shots on target against, who conceded, who had the most shots against them, it was Ramsdale and Raya, right? Onana had the least amount of shots against him. And if you do that per 90, hold on, watch. Toggle shots against them per 90, right? Vicario had the most. And still, Onana was only facing 2.58 shots or 3.52 shots on target against him per game, whereas Ramsdale and Raya were facing more. So you can't say that. Raya was facing or 0.6 more shots per game than Onana was.
Yeah, but was it
Allison is
difficult?
facing the least amount.
Well, yeah, but was it difficult? Was it high XG shots?
They don't have a. I'm
So
trying to
show
see
me that stat,
post shot
then I'll-
expected goals per shot on target, not including penalty kicks. Post shot expected goals minus goals allowed. Positive numbers suggest better luck or on above average ability to stop shots. So Allison was the best at difficult shots.
Wow.
Raya was the second best. Vicario was a little bit better. Onana was even, so he was pacing his shot to high XG shots, and then you had Ramsdale is bad at hard shots.
Yes, basically the harder the chance. Like
Yeah.
Ramsdale conceded 8 more goals than
He should have.
Than the
Wait,
XG.
Allison has 14.5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he saved
Basically,
14 more goals than he
he's-
should have.
Alisson is fucking crap, guys. Like, let's be honest about it. Like, Alisson is
Lloris-
probably going to be better than any other like keeper in the world, right? He's one of the best keepers in the world. So
But this is what I was looking at too. David Raya has even got a longer. Apparently Allison's average length on his goal kicks isn't very long, but apparently Raya is pretty good. Launch percentage, so he's almost as good as distribution as Ramsdale is.
Wait, what is Onana? What is Onana? Sorry.
His average length, he's like just below Vicario, about 7 yards short.
with
What the fuck?
So as I'm looking at all of this, apart from a couple, our new goalkeeper seems to be like middle of the road.
Yeah, bang average. That's what I said. That's exactly what I said.
Oh, no,
Everybody was
he's-
jumping my
hold
shit.
on. He's middle of the road out of this group of keepers. These aren't bang average goalkeepers you're looking at here. Like he could look a lot better if you put some real bang average goalkeepers in there. Do you know what I mean? Like
putting Guaita and
These
I
are
don't
these
know.
are the people that we should be competing with. If he's not even as good as Hugo Lloris, why did we buy him? When we could have gotten David Raya, who over the past 3 seasons has been better.
In terms
You
of
see that
shots
Italian
he
player?
shouldn't have saved, he was better than Hugo Lloris.
Well, and no, but Hugo Lloris, we're talking about Hugo Lloris not in his prime anymore. So if we're
Exactly.
going to be investing in a keeper and he's our number one and he's younger, he should be reaching his prime, right? Or he should be in his prime if he's going to be like somebody who can take on that legacy, you know?
And they're
Yes.
they're almost
Yes.
the exact same age too. I do believe.
No, he's like
Vicario's
27.
25. Raya is 26.
27.
Okay, I wouldn't
26.
mind.
No,
I
not
wouldn't
20.
mind
He's a year
Vicario
older.
as like our second choice goalkeeper. We need to have a good second choice goalkeeper as well. Like now, Foster is injured and he's aged as well, so I wouldn't mind him as second choice. But then if
Well,
you
he's
get
tw-
David right
Well,
now
he's 27.
alongside him, then it makes sense.
Yeah, David.
In the
actually-
season of the 2020-23, he was 26.
Okay, now
Right?
he's
It
27.
says right there, age 26.
No, I'm saying he's 27 now.
And
I'm
the
saying
last
about now.
year, okay, and then Vicario's 26 now. Whoop-de-doo.
By the way,
Vicario's
Will,
26.
wait,
I'm not talking about right now. I'm
Okay.
talking about the age.
Guys,
By the
Yeah,
way,
that, that
Will,
is worrying a little bit because of the fact that, I mean, we're talking about Hugo Lloris downturning, not in his prime. And then you have our keeper that's coming in and he doesn't even beat Lloris in some of the stats. There's some stats that he doesn't beat Lloris in. That's really scary.
Hold on a bit. First of all, those are stats from 3 years, right? Only the last year Hugo was absolutely tragic, right? The previous
He was
years,
pretty bad the
actually
year before
incredible.
that too. Like he was
Yeah, the year
average.
before that
Wait.
was bad.
Let me finish. Let me
Two
finish.
of the
Okay. First, that's the first point. You may agree or disagree, right? Second point is that like Hugo Lloris wasn't in a fucking wheelchair. He's not going to have 10% safe completion rate or whatever, right? Like the fact that he's better than Lloris, but only slightly, right, is a good thing, right? Because that means that he can have the potential to grow into it, right? Like Hugo Lloris is not some trash, middle of the pack goalkeeper from, I don't know, Polish league or whatever, right? Like he was a world-class goalkeeper. So I think that if we have a guy that's comparable in stats with Hugo Lloris, even an aging Hugo Lloris, when you look at last 3 years, I don't think that's a bad thing, right? Again, I know in the context of this group, he isn't looking like the best goalkeeper in the pack, right? But I don't think his stats are bad.
That's fair. I don't disagree with you that it's bad. I just worry about the potential, which I don't know yet. We'll see. You might be amazing. We'll see. But I'm just saying I do worry about whether or not we got a good enough keeper potentially, given that this is our number one keeper. And a keeper is like that kind of role where it's like, other than maybe some cup games and stuff, they play always. They play the full game, and if they're injured, you're screwed. So they need to make sure that they're really good, that they're healthy, that they're performing up to task all the time. So for me, I just feel like, why wouldn't we just go for our first choice or the best possible? Like if I was gonna go and spend money, if I had a position to spend money on, and I'm just really go hard, I would spend really hard on a quality keeper, because that keeper's starting every game and playing the full game.
Well, could you compare the last season, if it's okay with you? Just one season. I just want to see.
Why one season? I don't do one season. If you want to go look at one season, you can go look at yourself. I don't do it because it's not a scientific way to look at things.
I mean, as far as he's concerned, we'll see. Because let's be honest, we could all stab a guess at how good or bad he's going to be, but time will tell. You know what I mean? Hopefully, if we get a couple of defenders in, that'll help him out a little bit. You know what I mean? But
this one is. Oh, that's a clean sheet. I thought that was Cross's stop. This one worries me, man.
By the way,
this one right there, Hugo. Allison Vicario, the 25%. So penalty kicks, save. He had three penalty PK saves. So, if you got
Rams 0 saves.
Cross's stop. This number scares me, dude, because Hugo Lloris was so bad at that, and Vicario is about that same level when David Raya was a boss at it, right? Sweeper keeper actions, right? This too, Raya is a boss at it, right? Hugo Lloris was dog water, and Vicario's even worse. But that's what I'm saying. We literally went out and got a replica of Hugo Lloris.
A worse version of David Raya, right?
Yeah. When we could have had David Raya for 23 million more pounds. That's it. 23 million difference.
And I think the most damning thing about this is that we hired the people to go and do what Will's doing now. Look over stats, look at, what they've done over the years, so that when we do try to recruit people, we're recruiting people who are actually better than what we had before. We're not just watching the highlight videos and getting hyped off of it. But even when we do identify someone, we don't get them. We identified the person and we still didn't get them.
They have 100 more time tools than I've got. right?
Yeah,
This
to
is very
have
basic
effect
stuff.
more. No, but
And they still can't get it right.
But that can work both ways, right? If they have more tools and access to more data, maybe they can see something that we can see from those stats, right? Like, for example, the one thing that Dietrich asked about, which was like percentage of saves from difficult, like high XG shots or whatever, right? Which we can see here. Maybe they have access to that data, or they calculated it themselves, right? And maybe from that data they decided that he is a good fit, right? Again, like, sorry, because it sounds as if I was like trying to die on the hill of defending Vicario, right? Again, I want to stress that David Raya was my first choice, and I would have loved it if we got him, right? We got Vicario, and I just think that they decided that they aren't willing to pay 40 million pounds. The club decided that, right? Whether we think it's right or not is a different thing. But the club decided that, and they wanted to find like a cheaper keeper that basically suits their like, you know, range of statistics or whatever. And they found Vicario, right?
Me too. Vicario was not my first option. That was Jose Sa, personally.
Yeah, Jose Sa for me would
Jose
have been.
Sa's good. Jose Sa. Although he didn't have a good season last season though, but he was injured.
But
His
neither did Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves had a really bad season last year too.
Wolves are fucking
But that's
strong.
like Jose Sa would have been a good one to get. And
he has a wrist injury. I don't know how.
And then David Raya too. But I just don't get why people think David Raya isn't worth 40 million pounds. Like, I don't get that. Like, for me, when I looked, because I've looked at this data before, right? Like, I've looked at this because I looked at this data back when my whole pick was Jose Sa. That's who I wanted to come to Tottenham. Yada 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 yada, because he has a beautiful duckbill beard. First and foremost. But I've looked at this data a bunch of times against the top keepers that are on the goalkeeping list, because you can actually go just for goalkeepers, and they have like for just the Premier League, and they'll list the top keepers. Da 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 da. Well, yeah, Raya was in that top 5, so I always looked at the numbers. So but he was a little bit below Jose Sa if you did like a 5-year comparison or da 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 da. But anyway, I didn't understand why people were saying that David Raya isn't worth 40 million pounds. I think he's absolutely worth 40 million pounds. Like, that may be and it's just because he plays for Brentford? That's the only thing. Because if it was the same guy and he was playing for Inter, or he was playing for Barcelona, or he was playing for somebody else, people would pay 80, 90 million. Mm-hmm. Same numbers, same exact statistics against the exact same teams. And just because of the name of the club on the front of his chest, people would be willing to pay 100 million pounds for him. But because he plays for Brentford, people are like, no, he ain't worth 40.
No, but you gotta look at the contract remaining and stuff. Maybe clubs might say, no, he's not worth that if he has 1 year left.
He's got 1 year left.
For you might think, yeah, he's worth it, but other clubs might say, no, he's not.
But he had 3 years left to be worth 100 million pounds.
Not if he was 3 years.
The fact remains, doesn't matter what any of us value him at, not one single club, not one club has come in and said, here's 40 million pounds for David Raya.
Yeah, because he's in the last year of his contract, and they're trying to diddle him down. They're trying to diddle Brentford down. It doesn't mean he's not worth it.
No, I never say he's not worth it.
That's just the business they're in. Like, look, do I think he's a better keeper than the one we got now? Of course I do. Would I rather him? Of course I would.
We paid 17 million pounds for the one we got now. Right?
Well, we did what Spurs always does, Will. We bought the cheaper but worst option.
Yeah, but that's my point. So why are we as Tottenham fans, like I'm talking about on these other streams, like
I know.
Like Sean, Sava, and all these guys, why are they going around saying that? Like today, Sean made the point. He says, I don't want to hear any of you coming back to me and saying, because they asked if Postecoglou was back. And some people said Postecoglou was back. I don't think he's been back.
Nonsense.
Like, just because you have bought in players that may be able to play in his system doesn't equate to backing for me. Backing means buying the best possible player in the position needed.
Yes.
Like the coach's number one pick, right?
Backing's David Raya.
Yeah, backing is David Raya, right?
Yes.
Backing is not Manor Solomon. It's going out and buying. If you needed a right winger, go out and buying one that can actually play.
Actually, backing him is not Van der Ven either, if we're being really honest.
Exactly. VDV for me is a bad signing. Tapsoba is backing, right? Going out and paying 35 million pounds for Laporte.
But
that's backing.
But well, for
I
you
wouldn't
it's
call it a
backhand, but
bad
maybe for Ange, you might say I wanted Van de Ven and Manor Solomon.
Bullshit.
I'm saying maybe.
Maybe
not for you.
There's no
Don't get
way.
me wrong.
There's no way that Ange Postecoglou comes out of Celtic is like, you know what? You know who my first pick is? I need to go out and get Manor Solomon on a fucking free. That's
No,
the
no,
first order of business.
Manor Solomon, like that,
No,
right?
but
with VDV,
Bill, to be honest,
Yeah,
to be honest,
wrong. I like
Celtic was
VDV
a-
though.
I wouldn't call it a bad signing, right?
No, I wouldn't.
VDV
Because
I get your point. Tapsoba would have been a much better signing. Again,
Yes.
Tapsoba, like I would have wanted Tapsoba, but
yeah, that's the
I
same
don't
thing.
think those signings are bad, right? So sorry, Alex. Excuse me.
They're average.
Yeah, for you,
Yeah,
the
but
average
wait,
is-
It's better than anyone we've got playing there at the moment.
It's a VDV for me. I'm not even sure he's better than anyone we've got playing there at the moment. If you really want me to be honest with you, because there's not enough data out there to even say that. Even I know people are going to crucify me for even saying this, but if you just go off the 1 year that he played over in Germany and the 1 year against Eric Dyer last season, Eric Dyer was a better defender than VDV was. Fact. Go look at the numbers. It's a fact. Right? So you can't tell me. Now, VDV, obviously, because of his age, right, has a much higher season or much higher ceiling than Eric Dyer is. And I'm sick of Eric Dyer just because I've had to look at his ugly flat head for the past 10 years, right?
Will.
So,
you
well, hold on.
It's kinda
Let me finish.
stupid.
Yeah, let me
Go on.
land on this one first, right?
Let him land.
But we know for a fact that Tapsoba, right, has been a quality defender for RB Leipzig over the past 4 to 5 seasons.
It's
We
Bayern
know that
Leverkusen.
Laporte has been a quality defender for Man City over the past 4 or 5 seasons, even though he only played last 12 games last season, right?
Yes.
But we don't know VDV is going to be anything, right? Everybody, Dietrich, Marcelo, everybody whose last name doesn't start, isn't written in Korean characters, told me that Kim Min-jae wasn't a good defender 2 years ago when Jose Mourinho went in it. Besides me, I said he was, but even me at that point in his career, because he hadn't done anything yet, said he probably isn't a starter right off the bat. I don't know if you just watched the friendly between Bayern Munich and Liverpool, but Kim Min-jae bossed the field, had Mo Salah was taking the ball off of him in stride. It was insane. Create diagonal balls. I haven't seen a performance out of a center back in a long time. So good. Like so freaking good.
Yeah, because he was in China. That's why we didn't rate him.
Right. What I'm I don't look at players where they play. I don't have a bias, but depending on the league, I look at the qualities and the statistics of what they're pulling it up. Right. That's what I look at when I play. That's when I have a bias. But so VDV has the potential that he could end up being a Kim Min-jae, but he also has the exact same potential of turning into a Davidson Sanchez. Because Davidson Sanchez was a 40 million that we've spent 40 million pound on and was supposed to be some great young talent out of South America that everybody was excited about. And look how the fuck that turned out.
Look,
So all I'm saying is don't ever base anything. Ndombele was good for 1 season and we went out and dropped 60 million on him and it turned around and bit us in the ass. David Sanchez was good for 1 season and we dropped 40 million on him and it turned out and bought us in his ass. VDV has been good, not even good or great, good for 1 season and we dropped 40 million pound on this motherfucker and it's going to come back to bite us in the ass because that's what happens to Tottenham. We let the good ones go off to that and end up going and turning into Kim Min-jae monsters, right?
Look, I don't rate VDV personally, but if Ange maybe said, I want this guy, I trust him.
Well, so here's the
That's
thing.
all I'm saying.
So VDV, if we get him, the reason why I would say we're not backing Ange totally by getting VDV is because we should be getting VDV and Tapsoba.
Absolutely.
We should be you know what I mean? Like, even if we were to just get Tapsoba, I would say not good enough. Because because we need to get multiple center backs and we need to be moving Deadwood out. So people saying that we are backing Ange, we are not backing Ange because we have not moved out any Deadwood except for Harry Winks. We have there's none of those center backs are anywhere closer to leaving. Tanganga is still at the club. What is he doing there?
I know, but let's be honest. Who wants to buy him? Like, who the hell wants to buy him?
It was. Did you see? Did you see that pass to Gnabry that Kim Min-jae made? It was freaking nuts, dude. It was like a 60-yard ball that landed right on Gnabry's foot, dude. Like it landed right on that mother's foot, dude.
Guys, with Bellis or Velis or VDV and Phillips, we have 39 fucking players at this club. We need to move like 12 of them. At least 12. Yeah. Right?
I call him Veg, by the way. That's my nickname for the young guy. Veg.
Do you think the
and I'm not over exaggerating it. 12 fucking players need to go. And honestly,
Tanganga is homegrown. Hold on.
The under 21 guys don't count.
Yeah, but you know, for 39 counting like Phillips and VDV, who is also I think under 21 or whatever.
VDV,
right,
but I'm saying they don't count
under 21. But yeah, but what I mean is that we have 39 bodies, right, at this club that all will expect at least some game time, right? We have to ship them out or loan them out or sell them or even leave the contracts.
Well,
right?
you can only loan X amount out now.
Yeah, but we are promised like 8 ripped up contracts at the beginning of the window, right? Promised, of course. I mean,
by who?
Or whatever, right? Yeah, that's why I said promised, right? But yeah, like Sanchez, Ndombele, Tanganga, Rodon, Region, Sessegnon, you know, who else? Højbjerg probably, right? All those fuckers need to go because like we can't have 39 players because we'll end up like Chelsea last season, right? When they had 40 players, all of them expected to play. Nobody was playing, right? Because they were in no competitions, so like barely 15 people played during the season, right? And everyone was pissed off, and the atmosphere went like that, right? We have to ship those guys out. And again, that's the point about backing Ange, right? There is so much work to do. I would go even further than that, right? If we bought VDV, if we buy Tapsoba and we buy a center defensive mid, right? Let's say like a really good center defensive mid. I would still say we didn't back him because he still has Rodon on his head, Sanchez on his head, and Ndombele, and all the other fuckers that are just wasting space, right? He gets back when he gets what he wants, and we ship out the guys that he doesn't want, right? That's backing for me.
I think Jonas is joking here, Adam Phillip. I don't think he's being serious. Because if he is being serious, then I'm going to laugh at him. But...
No, he has been. This guy is being serious. I think.
No, he's trolling. He's
a troll. He's a troll. He's a troll.
Well, Phil is
I agree with
coming
Michael,
off injury.
Though. I agree with Michael though about not being backed and for this. And I'm going to tell you right now, like because they were trying to compare Conte with Ange Postecoglou, right? And they were trying to say that Conte wasn't backed because of X, Y, and Z. The types of players that Conte expects are, 50, 60, 70 million pound players, right? Whereas, wow, it got quiet, real quiet all the time. Somebody, De La Spurs almost got some mad background noise. Let me turn that on, but because it freaked me out. The silence derailed my thought process. White noise. So Conte, comparing Conte expected 50, 60, 70 million pound players, right? Ange Postecoglou has been used to playing in the Scottish Premier League and the Japanese League, and he was happy getting 6 million pound players than when he was at Celtic, right? So this is a different level. It may feel like backing to him because he's never signed a 40 million pound defender before in his life.
Yeah.
He's never signed a 40 million pound defender in his career. This is the first one, right? For us as a team that wants to compete with the likes of Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, all of these teams, it just doesn't cut it, man. It doesn't. I don't care how young the guy is. I don't care how good people want him to be. He could very easily turn out to be a Davinson Sanchez. Why can't he? Go look at the numbers and how well Davis and Sanchez was rated for coming from Ajax with only 1 season under his belt. Right? He was considered to be a talent. A young, exciting talent. And look how that turned out.
So one thing, I back Ange, and I think that we need to back him, like, collectively. That being said, one criticism I do have for him, and everybody knows that I love Conte. He has his issues as well. He wasn't flawless. He had problems as well. But one thing that I will give Conte that I do worry about Ange is Conte being completely ruthless and just pushing players out, just leaving them out. And Ange hasn't done that. And I'm like, Ange, just leave them out. Make it known. Make it known that you're just like, I'm not having this player. Like, otherwise, they're just going to stay there. They already stayed there anyways. But at least with Conte being ruthless like that, the club had to scramble to try to get them out on loan. But there's no progress being made other than a couple of links, minor links here and there. I don't see very much progress for actually moving out this dead wood. And we had hit our limit last season for loans. We had to rip up Doherty's contract because we forgot or lost count of how many loans we had out. That's so ridiculous. Only at our club would that happen. And then now next summer, all the dead wood is back. It all came back around again. I feel like we're living in Groundhog Day. Does nobody really feel that way? I'm like, we got to get excited about Ange. I'm like, really? Same players. Next summer, same players.
But this is what I don't get, right? And this comment from the Spurs fan, who's Scottish, by the way, is great evidence to what I'm talking about. Right? Ange Postecoglou went and bought Cameron Carter-Vickers from us for like what, 10 million, 2 million? I can't remember what it was. Right? It's like 10? Was it 10? I can't remember. 5, 10, something around there.
10 million euros.
Yeah. All you need to know is who was Ange's keeper last year.
I don't remember. Oh, Joe Hart. He bought him from us
Right,
for £2 million.
That's all you need to know about that league. That is all you need to know about that league.
He comes and get Cameron Carter-Vickers, who couldn't get a start from it. And I'm going to put Cameron Carter-Vickers into perspective as an American. Cameron Carter-Vickers is somebody who is cap tied to the United States of America and can't even make the U.S. men's national team rosters when we have guys like Long and Zimmerman playing for us in our back line. That should tell you where Cameron Carter-Vickers' level is at. And he was one of the best center backs in the Scottish Premier League on that year.
Wasn't he player of the season?
Yeah, player. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about, levels, right? This is levels between what Ange Postecoglou is used to and where we are at as a club, right? It may have worked for him to go out and get these, little, let's take a gamble on this player, blah, 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 for the Scottish Premier League. And it may have worked in Japan. It's not going to work in the Premier League, and especially for a team that wants to be in the top 4. The only way that we can get around doing this is if we play a money ball system, which we aren't doing and haven't done. I'm sorry, right? There was 1 or 2 Twitter posts about Spurs hiring all of, Levy Consulting, not even hiring, but consulting with some big statistics operation in order to start doing it. I haven't seen any signs of that because the players that we're signing aren't on the tops of any lists statistically. None. VDV isn't. Vicario isn't. Manor Solomon isn't. Right? James Madison is the only player that we've signed this window that I can say, all right, cool, 8 out of 10. Yeah. I'm not saying 8 out of 10 signings have to be big money signings. I'm saying go out and get players for good prices. They're 8 out of 10. I rated Perisic out of 8 out of 10 last season in the summer, and he was on a free. And I still think that Perisic, while he hasn't scored a lot of goals, was the number 1 assister last season. He's been the number 1 assister in preseason, right? He's not a bad player, right? Statistically, you look at the numbers, it works. I'm not asking for big money players. I'm just looking for players who have been good consistently over 3 seasons. That's all I'm asking for. Yeah. Not one-off.
Will, even with that, one of the comments, I was reading the comments, and one of them did say, for the most expensive ticket prices almost in the world, it's not good enough. What we're bringing in now, even if this is what Ange wants, it's not good enough. Like you've been saying, Will, if Ange comes in and says VDV is what he imagines as a great center back, us as Tottenham should say, all right, we do see that and we appreciate your recommendation. But as a top 4 club in the Premier League, the top league in the world, we're going to need a little bit more than Van der Ven in the back line.
I don't believe it.
To be able to come in and say, you know what, we can bring in Van der Ven, but how about we go out and we get a top 5-star center back?
De La Spurs.
You can have your recommendation.
Show me one quote. Hold on.
We're at a point now with us competing in the top 4. We need to be getting these level players. So that's cool. You want him? We should be getting boom, boom, boom off of the top echelon of the list. Who do you want out of these players? Because that's who.
What I'm saying is, I don't think Ange Postecoglou. Hold on. We don't even need to go. We don't even need to go down that road because I have not seen a single quote from Ange Postecoglou who says that VDV was the player that he wanted. Nobody knows that VDV that Ange Postecoglou wanted Van der Ven. Nobody knows that. People are saying that because we signed him, Postecoglou must have wanted him. Bullshit. Right? He's not. There is no evidence to support that whatsoever. What there is evidence of is 23 years of Daniel Levy going and buying average players that are young, so in the hopes of selling them on.
There's no evidence, but there's a speculation because he was linked with Celtic before. So people are saying like, oh, he wanted. It's like his system sort of a player. So that's why people are saying that. Yeah, but you're right.
He's 21. He's not even. He just turned 21. How could he have been linked with Celtic before for their academy?
No, he was linked.
No, but I mean, there are players who are young as well. So managers do want them. So he was linked with them, by the way.
Yeah,
for their academy, most likely.
No, like for the first team, but still, nevertheless, right? Just one funny thing about what the Spurs said, right? Maybe the case was that he told them that he wants Cameron Carter-Vickers at Spurs, and they told him that VDV is that top echelon player. But you can speak that.
That happened too.
No. Wait.
For example, I am on the fence of VDV. I think he's not a really bad player, but he's not like a really great player as well. Like if you look at his whatever I've seen so far, he looks like just okay. Plus, he's young, like 2021 sort of player. He can be developed.
But hold on, too. There's another thing too. Just because a player's linked with a club, one doesn't mean the manager wants him. Because if the manager wanted him, they probably would have signed him. Two.
Yes.
Right. Hold on.
That's the reason why the conclusion was made, right?
Right. But that's what I'm saying. But number two is right because we sign players all the time that our managers don't want, and we have hard evidence of that. Jed Spence, right? We have the managers literally coming out and saying that they didn't want players we signed. We do it all the time. But we got TJ Warren TV in the back, fresh off of his celebration from the major tournament of the year, the Charity Shield preseason bullshit cup. How's it going?
Can we talk about Arsenal now? I'm sick of the Spurs.
There's no big up everybody, by the way. Q, De La Spurs, Michael. Even though last time I saw you, you were flipping me off. Good to see you, buddy.
What?
Yeah, on Irish Hotspur, you called me a prick and flipped me off because I was making fun of you in the Tiger Cup for winning the Tiger Cup. I have the clip. I will show you the clip.
Not today.
Really, Michael doesn't seem like the kind of guy to do that. But...
No, he did that.
I've got the receipts.
I got the receipts.
What did I say? Sorry.
You prick.
You called me a prick and told me to piss off.
Oh yeah, that was a note, man. Come on, like I didn't
did that.
Big up everybody here. Yes, it's no Tiger Cup. The Community Shield is no Tiger Cup, but we move on. We got Nottingham Forest this weekend, and we got to focus on that.
Show me the quote, my man.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah.
Quote or it
congratulations,
didn't happen.
TJ.
Thank you.
Community Shield,
Thank you.
Man City gave you a cork, to put into your bottle from last season.
Oh, okay. Are you done? Are you done supporting Wrexham now that they lost 5-3? Are you done supporting them now too? Because they were playing against
the team that got relegated the previous season.
Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter. Either you support them or you don't.
TJ, I do want to ask you though, how did it feel to even be in that cup in the first place? Because City was so good in every competition that you guys got to be. in the first leg.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
By an honorary
Because they couldn't play against themselves.
selection.
My thought on that is, I think Man U should have played them
I agree
because
with
they
you.
did win a domestic cup.
And they need to change that rule.
I
They need
agree.
to change that rule, in my
I'm not
opinion.
blaming Arsenal for this. I just think the
No, I
rule
agree
itself
with you.
is dumb.
No, I think it's a good point. The number
I
two,
agree
the
with
runner-up should be the League Cup.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
not the second
100%.
place. Yeah.
Honestly, it was just nice to beat Man City. That's all. That's all I'm gonna
You've
say.
done that before, though.
You
You,
guys
beat
have
them
done
once
that-
last year, didn't you?
No, we have
No.
not. No.
8 in a row it was, right? We
Yeah,
lost.
we literally have not beaten them in like 13 straight games.
Yeah,
We have not beaten them.
I don't know what that's like.
yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
For
Like,
some
we-
reason,
Yeah.
for some reason, Spurs are Man City's bogey team. I don't get it. It doesn't. make sense.
I
I
didn't
don't
know
think
that.
we
'Cause I
could
could
be
have
this
used
year.
that. I could have used that against Minerals as something you guys never seen.
Yeah.
Like
Well, it's not
this
too late
year,
to do that
mate.
here.
I think City are going to rip us a new one this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with a line.
Yeah, Adam.
They'll
Yeah,
actually
we
come
lost
out. We
three-
won't
we lost
sit back
three
and
tonight.
defend.
Yeah, we
we-
won't
You
put
know-
the whole
you know,
team behind the ball.
community-
Because we
community
did
shield-
concede against them and win with Pochettino as manager, but we haven't conceded. They haven't scored a goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium yet, so
They will this year. Trust
they
me.
will this year.
They're going to score.
By the way, like one
do
last
that
thing I
so
wanted to add, one last thing I wanted to say about BDV, right? And this is like because we paid 45 million or 40 or whatever it is for him, right?
Yeah.
And one thing I will say about this, because you said that he had one good season in Bundesliga,
Or
right?
just one season.
Yeah,
Not
but-
one good,
but-
one
but
season.
What I want to say is that let's imagine a situation if he waited another year, right? And he had a stellar season in Bundesliga. This upcoming season, if he stayed in Wolfsburg, had a stellar season, right?
Mm.
Then if you wanted to buy him, he would be like 80 to 90 million, right? So my argument is that maybe sometimes it is worth to take a punt because, as you said with Sanchez, right? He had one stellar season. We bought him. He tended to shit, right? But there is an alternate universe when Sanchez is the defender, right? That's my only point. So I completely, again, same thing that I said with Ricardo. I completely get the issues that that this defender has. I completely get he's not like the guy that we should be aiming to buy, but I am willing to give him a chance, right? It's
Right.
It's just the way it is, right?
Look, I'm
the
fine. I'm
problem
fine
with
with
that
him
is
being
this.
like a squad player or even a player for the academy since he's still 21. Right, he's still eligible for U21s. This calendar year, I'm fine with him being a squad player. You know, a Tanganga, a Joe Rodon, that type of a deal, right? Because if you compare him at that level, it's a good signing, right? If you're comparing him against the young guys that we got sitting on the bench, it's a good signing, right? You know, 10 million, 14 million, 17 million, 15 million, whatever we paid for Joe Rodon. I think it was like 15 or something when we could have gotten Kim Min-jae for 5 that same season.
I don't think
I'm
anyone's
never gonna
got a
let that go,
problem.
dude.
No one's got a problem with us buying him.
Right.
But-
I have a problem with him starting or saying that means we've backed Postecoglou for this season. 'Cause backing for me isn't buying the manager who he wants. It's buying the manager who he needs to win shit. That's what backing means for me. Right?
But by the way, Will, I want to piss you off with one more Korean. Lee Kang-in going to PSG. What's your opinion on that? Because Sony recommended the guy.
Lee Kang-in for me, if you're looking at him as like a midfielder or something like that, I think he's good. He's a good player, right? Like he's better than Papamatasar or any of those guys that we got playing in that 8 spot right now. This is another thing too. People were saying today on the stream that Papamatasar is going to be, he could turn into be a real 6. How? He was playing as an 8 today. He didn't even play in the 6 role. So how could you say that his performance today made you think that he could be a 6 when he didn't even play in that position? Like, I don't get what people are watching, or did they not think about what they say before words come out of their mouth? But, yeah, like for me, he's better than Skip. He's better, anybody else we've got slotted into that 8-10 type of a role. He's a lot better player than that. And if we're missing out, but although he went to PSG for a pretty decent fee, didn't he?
Yeah, like 20 million or something, 15. I don't
Better
remember.
than, better than a lot of people. Somebody's backstage.
Yeah, the person
We're
with
gonna.
camera
Oh,
on.
I didn't hear him. What's up, dude?
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good.
So I just want to say the backing thing, it's sorry, but it's absolutely bullshit. Just
What was
look
that?
at RB Leipzig. Just look at RB Leipzig. Christian Nkunku, they got him for 20 million. Josko Gvardiol, they got him for 20 million. Dominic Szoboszlai, they got him for 25 million. It's never about spending X amount of money. It's about spending on the right players.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the point that we made, right?
Yeah, that's the point we're making.
But you
Yeah,
also
that's
say,
the point.
but like on paper, our current goalie is like a lot better than Raya.
No. Ray
Nah,
is a
that's
lot
not what
better
we
than our
said,
current
yeah.
Yeah, it's
goalkeeper.
not better than Vicario.
He is
Right,
though.
Vicario is like here. David Raya is like here. You can't even see my hand. He's so much better, right?
But have you also seen like how much work he had to do compared to Raya last season? Because how
Same
bad
amount of work. I already showed. Okay, your point is moot because I already showed that David Raya faced more shots than Vicario did. So you can't say Vicario had to do more work.
but shots can come
Raya,
from
Raya,
Raya
No,
faced more shots on target than Vicario did, and had an almost a 20-point better save percentage than Vicario did, facing more shots, higher XG shots than Vicario did. So harder shots, more shots, and double the amount of save percentage. Not save percentage.
but save percentage is anyway.
Yeah,
he had a
save
better
percentage
save
is the one you
percentage
want to
than
look at.
Ramsdale.
The
He had
one
one of
he
the best save percentages in the Prem.
Yeah, 76%.
He was the top 5 keeper in the Prem last season.
Top 3 actually.
Top
And
3.
even
There
if
you
and
go.
even if Raya had a better defense in front of him than Vicario, you still have to make the saves. Like whether you have a lot of balls coming at you because your defense sucks, or you're only facing 1 or 2 shots a game because your defense is good, you still have to save. You have to save what's being thrown at you. So it doesn't necessarily matter if Vicario is always busy. He's always constantly making saves. If it's still his save percentage is still bad, then he's not making enough saves. We don't need him. It doesn't matter that, oh, well, he's moving a lot in the box. We don't care if you have to move around in the box as a goalkeeper a lot. We care if you make the saves. So it doesn't
David
matter
Raya
if he has a
commanded
lot
the
more work
box
to
more.
do. If he's
Stop.
not making the saves,
David Raya
Don't
faced
get
more
him.
crosses, stopped more crosses, faced more shots, stopped more shots, came out of his box more often, and made more outside of the box sweeper type positions. Right? That's what I'm saying. Like there is no statistical argument for Vicario being even half the goalkeeper. Well, half is a bit overboard. 60%, 70% of the goalkeeper as David Raya is. There is no argument that anyone can rationally make. You can make that argument based on an emotion because he signed for Tottenham Hotspur and makes your balls tingle, right? But there's not an actual reason. Like I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being blunt, right?
That's why Brad Friedel said the other day they say percentage doesn't matter.
What?
Yeah, he went
I'm
on.
not talking about if it was just save percentage. If that was the
No,
only
he
number.
said you can't look at just save percentage and these conceded goals because if you play for Man City and get like 2 shots a game,
I agree.
to
Look,
Burnley,
hold on. I agree with you. If that was the only statistic, right, that David
It's
Raya
not,
was
though.
better than Vicario at, I would agree with you that you could have an argument. David Raya is better than Vicario at everything. Not one thing, everything.
And in a harder league.
yeah.
But on that new system, they counted Ederson is like 13, 14 in the league.
Okay, I'd have to look at the stats on that. You probably
What
well very
system are
well
you
could
talking
be.
about?
Especially like on save percentage, yeah, probably. It's the same thing with looking at defenders and tackles, right? Virgil van Dijk has low tackle numbers because he doesn't have to tackle a lot because they do a high press and the ball's one back in the midfield 95% of the time, right? But when you look at percentages, right, this is what happens, the difference between total saves and save percentages. Save percentages is based on shots on target versus saves, and it gets a percentage, right? So you're looking at ratio, right? 10 and 8 is the same thing as 180. The percentage is the same. Right? It doesn't matter the number. It's not a total, right? It's talking about percentages. Right? It's the same argument when people say that Harry Kane has more goal contributions than Heung-min Son because he scored more goals than him. When you actually look at goals and assists minus PKs, it's bullshit. Son has contributed more goal contributions to Tottenham Hotspur over the past 5 seasons than Kane has. Fact. Right?
But who's more important right now, Sonny or Kane?
Son. If he's contributing more to goals, then it would be Son. If Son has contributed more to the success of Tottenham Hotspur than Harry Kane has, who's more important?
So you would rather that Kane leaves than Son today, if one had to leave?
If one had to leave, if I had to choose one or the other?
Yeah.
And what are the conditions?
Both. One of them has to go for like Son for like 60 million, for 100 million, and one has to go.
60 million?
Yeah.
If I had to choose one or the other for 60 million, who would I pick?
Yeah. If one of them had to go, would you pick Kane or Son?
I don't know. Flip a coin, man. Either one. 50-50.
Because you said Son was more important.
Yeah, but you're talking it's like one goal contribution different.
But many of us would rather that Kane stayed than Sonny.
Why?
Probably because he's more clinical right now, and Sonny
he's not clinical. He's not more clinical than Son. He was last season, but if you're looking at him over time, he's not more clinical than Son Heung-min.
Son might even be declining compared to Kane.
They're 1 year apart from each other. How do you figure that?
I think you saw Son's season last season, right?
Yeah, I did. I watched Son's season last season. Yes, I did.
Yeah, he was declining.
Scored 10 goals.
He
scored 10 goals. Yeah, in his worst season in the last 7 years, he scored 10 goals, and he was better than he was in the 2018-19 season or the 17-16 season in most other attributes of his game.
But that was at the start of his career, kind of thingy.
That's not 18-19 is not the start of his career, dude. He started like way back 13-14, right? Son's 31, older than Harry Kane. He played in Germany for 2 to 3 years.
But he wasn't. He was never world class in Germany.
He was still scoring 10 plus goals a season in Germany. What are you talking about, bro?
Listen, either way, we better make good with Son, because if Kane leaves, we better hope he's good. We better hope Son is good, because we just saw today Harry Kane is good for 4 goals in a game. So we better hope Son can pull.
Right, you also.
I'm gonna be real with you. Like most strikers with any kind of talent would have scored at least 3 of those goals.
True.
Like he could have, if he, man, like. I'm not knocking Kane here. Don't get me. I'm just saying, even Richarlison would have scored 2 of them.
Yeah, 100%.
But definite, but 2 of them, but not for all 4.
Well, no, we're not talking about the penalty.
No, I just.
But what I want to say to Ricketan's point here is, you got to actually go out and do the research, right? Like I know a lot of people have a lot of preconceived notions because of what's popular on social media, but sometimes those types of memes don't actually conform with reality, right? You do realize that against top 6 competitions, Son is our #1 goal scorer out of the same period that Harry Kane and Son Heung-min have scored. So that means Son scores more goals against harder competition than Harry Kane does.
Yeah, Kane is a numbers merchant.
Right, he'll score 4 goals. He'll score 6 goals against Saint Moniki Majero in the UEFA Cup or World Cup qualifiers, but then not score a single thing against Spain or Germany. Right. Harry Kane may have the most goals against Arsenal, but when you want to look at goals against other top 6 competition sides like Liverpool, City, Son actually has more goals against top 6 sides than Harry Kane does. He's the leader. So who?
Because everyone is like blocking him. Everyone is marking him.
Can you prove that?
Bye, Michael.
It's not fair.
Later, Michael.
It's 4:30 today. I overstayed my welcome, but yeah. See you
It's all
guys.
good, man. We
Hi,
appreciate it.
Michael.
Thanks for coming on. You're always welcome. We love it
Take
when you
care,
stay
mate.
fast with us.
Bye bye.
So you're saying that Harry Kane gets marked more. Do you have proof to back that claim? Or are you just assuming that to be true?
You can see that if you watch every game.
But if you could see that watching every game, then you could see that. So because people are marking him more than you would expect, the Son would have more expected goals than Harry Kane, correct?
Son will have more like empty space to run, to make his runs.
Son has more empty space. So by your argument, then Harry Kane should have a lower XG than Son, correct?
No.
Okay, so if Son's goals are easier, the XG is therefore higher, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so if Kane's goals are harder, more difficult, because there are men marking him out, then his XG would be lower, correct? Per 90.
Probably.
Go look at the numbers, it's not true. I can pull it up right now if you want to see.
Sure.
All right.
How did we get into a Son versus Kane again?
Our friend.
That's how every
Two most beloved players, and we're trying to argue which one, if one of them has to go, which one we have to choose. It's like, why?
Constant conversation piece.
And this is what's funny. If you think the amount of individual people who want to take this debate on with me is act like you're going against a seasoned pro here. I've had this debate 1,000 times. I've had it so many times I almost know the data by heart. Right? That's how sad. That's how many times.
Well, before you get into it, I'm going to bed. But it's been emotional, everybody.
Good night. Good night.
Bye, Grozy.
See ya.
Okay, it was Jason.
Then there was 6. And
so how much? So Kane scored, while you're pulling that up, Kane scored 4 goals. And how much of that was him just, investing into the project, like Ange says, as he was quoted as saying that he believes in the project, he's invested in the project and what they're doing. And how much of that was, let me show y'all, Bayern, how you need to come hard for me right now.
Oh. He's a professional. He will always play well.
This is
how much of it is just, let me just show everybody that, I can do it, because why not?
Get rid of the other guys so there's no confusion here. We don't need like Zlatan and Karim Benzema and all this other bullcrap. Okay. So you said that Son Heung-min would therefore have higher XG per 90 than Harry Kane because his shots were easier. What does that say, sir?
Kane got higher.
Okay, so I thought Son's shots were easier.
Probably.
Then he would have a higher XG.
Because the thing is with stats, like if some of the games you could see that Son made those runs behind the defenders, it was him against the goalkeepers.
Okay, some of them were. Okay.
Yeah, but how many times?
How many of Harry Kane's goals? Hold on. How many of Harry Kane's goals came from inside the 6-yard box off of set pieces?
Yeah.
That's his job. That's his job to score inside the 6-yard box.
Okay, and it's Son's job to run in behind and go one-on-one with the goalkeeper. What's your point, man? XG is XG regardless of what a player's job is, my friend. It's talking about the difficulty.
It depends on the manager.
Okay, it doesn't depend on the manager.
We can see Son is struggling right now under Ange because he doesn't fit under Ange's system.
How does he not fit under Ange's system? You're saying he doesn't fit under Ange's system.
Because Ange wants his wingers to drift wide. Son doesn't do that.
And Son drifted wide today.
Son does drift wide.
Okay, Son
he cuts
drifts
inside, and how many times have you seen Son cut inside and hit a curler from outside the box? Whether he's 1-on-1 or if there's like 3 defenders in front of him, he does that all the time.
Hold on,
It's like his trademark goal is.
we don't even have to do. We don't even
curling
hold on.
it into the top
Hold on,
90.
we don't even have to argue that cutting inside, because in fact people are using the fact that Son cuts inside as an argument against him this season. But I want to bring it up today. Who had the most crosses today?
I haven't checked the stats.
Just guess.
Solomon probably.
No, Son Heung-min had the most crosses today. 8. Solomon had like 2. 1. What are you talking about, my man? What?
Rinkatic, do you watch like our channel quite regularly?
Oh my god!
I'm just curious. Or you came to know about us from like another channel.
I didn't hear your question.
No, I just want to ask you: do you watch our channel quite regularly? Like, because it's first time we've seen you, so yeah, I just want to know about you a bit better.
No.
You sound. I can tell you. It sounds to me like you watch a lot of Percy, Sava, and Sean Butler. Would I be correct in that assessment?
And Mia.
A bit.
Yeah. Because you're parodying their same fallacious. You're parodying their same fallacious arguments that they give with no justification whatsoever. Do you tend to just believe people blindly without actually going and looking at the numbers yourself, or what?
Numbers doesn't say everything.
It tells you how many crosses a player made in a game, though.
But in general, stats doesn't mean anything.
Why do they not mean anything? They actually. Do you know what a statistic
different
is?
managers play different systems.
Okay. Do you know what a statistic is?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's about the higher percentage and better scores.
No. Define what a statistic actually is. Like, I'm not talking about what they apply to. I'm asking you, what is a statistic?
Well, leave him alone. Leave him alone.
I'm just asking him an easy question. I'm asking him to tell me what a statistic is.
Yeah, I know.
You want to make new friends, you know?
What's your Sorry, I didn't catch your name. What was your name?
Rinkatic.
Rin? Okay.
Rinkatic. Yeah.
Rinkatic. Okay. So Rinkatic, when you're looking at Kane and Son, you ask the question, right? Who would you sell out of those two, right? Or who would you keep, right?
Yeah.
It's totally fair, and nobody's going to argue with you here. If you just said that you would much rather keep Kane than Son, and for whatever reason is your personal reason, I like Kane better. I like the kind of way that he plays better. I think that he's someone that, he's our vice captain. Like those kind of things, it's like, it totally makes sense. If you want to just say that that's what it is, that's totally fine. I think that what ended up happening is that it became a debate about who's the better player. But it doesn't have to be who's the better player in this situation. If you just feel like you would rather keep Kane or you like Kane better than Son, that's totally fine. Then just say that that's what it is.
No, you claim sorry, I didn't get your name. He claimed that Son had better stats than Kane. But
I didn't claim that. That wasn't what I claimed.
No, not you.
Wait, what did I claim? What did I claim?
Yeah, Son got better stats than Kane.
He does. In some areas. In some areas, Kane has better statistics than Son. Why? If Son does more on the pitch, right? So I'll tell you what a statistic is. I won't put you on the spot. Okay. A statistic is just a recording of an event, right, that happened on the pitch. Correct? That's what a statistic is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when somebody records more events than another person, could you then not rationally say that that person did more or better things than the other player?
It depends, though.
Why does it depend? If Kane scores 6 goals and Son scores 5 goals, is Kane a better goal scorer? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So if Son has 20 goal and assist contributions, and Kane has 18 goal and assist contributions, does Son not contribute more to goals than Kane?
it depends from the distance.
How does that depend? No. See, you easily said yes. You didn't throw in any extra bits when I mentioned Kane being the best, right? There was no extras. You simply said yes, right? I said who contributed more to the goal tally of Tottenham Hotspur? Son at 20 and Kane at 18. Who participated more in contributing goals and assists to Tottenham Hotspur?
Sonny.
Son. So why is that hard to say? Why do we need to talk about the distance? But you do realize that Kane's goals do come from closer range than Son's do. Kane's goals have higher XG than Son's do, right?
Because his job is from the 6-yard box.
Okay, and Son's job is from the wing. So if Son is contributing more goals and assists to the club than Kane is, and he's doing it from farther away with a lower expected goal tally, why is Son not better than Kane at contributing goals? Right, Son is doing it with less shots on target, less shots total, right, from a farther distance with a lower XG, and is contributing more goals and assists minus PKs over the past 6 years than Harry Kane has.
The distance thing is not correct.
It is correct.
It is correct, mate.
I don't know why you think.
I'm just, so the
house.
reason why I brought that up, what I was saying was I was trying to give you this way. I would just basically, when you start saying things like Kane contributes more to the team than Son does, or Kane is a better player than Son is, those are very broad statements that can be backed up with statistics. And then that's when you're asking for a little bit of trouble from some of the people on this panel. So, but if you named Will possibly, but if you just feel the way that you feel because you like Kane better, you like to watch Kane play more than Son, that's totally fine. Nobody's going to argue with you in that. That's your opinion.
Let's put it this way. I wouldn't mind selling them both, to be honest, right?
Okay, so that's what it is.
Okay.
There you go.
Anyway, but I think Kane would still be a better loss than Sonny would. Because if you remove Kane,
why do you think that? What was that? Why do you think that he's a bigger loss?
Somebody's calling my name.
Because if you have Richarlison in the middle, he might not be as good as if Kane was in the middle. But if you remove Son, you have Solomon, you can maybe even put Porro on the wing or something.
Porro plays on the right. Son plays on the left. So if you're talking about the wing, Porro would play on the right wing, not the left wing.
You can still move around the wingers.
So if I were to go for their whole entire time at the club, right, and even give Kane an extra year, what percentage more goal and assist contributions do you think Harry Kane has over Son? Like, just what, 5%, 10%, 30%? What do you think that is? Per 90, per game, on average.
Maybe Kane.
Huh?
What was your question again?
What percentage more? Like, how many percent more does Kane contribute to the goal and assist contribution than Son does since in his time?
20, maybe.
20%. Three.
Jonas wants you to answer his question later.
Yeah, but you have to tell me what it is. 3% better. .75 for a 90 to 0.72. A lot smaller difference than you thought, right?
Yeah.
So do you agree that your perception was not accurate to the reality? And this is including Harry Kane having what? How many more minutes? Almost 100 more, or 7,000 more minutes than Son in a Spurs shirt. Right. And that's only 3% difference.
Yeah.
So Jonas's question here is, ask him why Metersek in 2014-15 versus Van Dijk in 2019-2020. Metersek had better stats than Van Dijk. Does that mean Metersek is a better defender? What statistics was he better than him at? Because I would be willing to bet. Unfortunately, we can do the comparison right here now. But let's see, Mertesacker. What a name! Is this the guy we're talking about here?
Yep.
So per Mertesacker,
Arsenal legend. Just kidding.
Player comparison with Virgil van Dijk, right? From what span of season? One season? So we're just comparing.
2020.
So wait, so you're comparing just one season, okay? So 20. So Peter Mertesacker, 2014, 2015. Like I said, I don't do one season doing it, but we'll do it here for the sake of argument. And then Van Dijk from the 1920 season. All right, get results. We will get rid of these other clowns real fast because it just makes it easier. All right. So what statistic was he better than Virgil van Dijk at, my friend? What statistic are we looking at? Because you made the claim, not me, Mr. Jonas. Defending what? There's like 1,000 different aspects of defending. So let's just look at the defending stats here, right? So defensive actions. Well, look at that. Virgil van Dijk was better than Peter Mertesacker at everything. Here we go. Because there's no statistics recorded in that year like they do now. So how do you tell me that there are better statistics? What statistic?
So Jonas Hara is your mate, is it? Rin Cantor, whatever your name is.
Right. He had Virgil van Dijk had way better goal and assist stats than Mertesacker did. Let's just compare the ones that they did it. Shots on target. Virgil van Dijk was a lot better in the box and shooting from set pieces and stuff like that. They didn't record any statistics in the 2014-2015 season like they did. Starts, points per match. Virgil van Dijk had way better points per match. His team scored more goals.
I think he's checking the Premier League website.
Okay, so that's the problem with the Premier League website is they just give you basic round stats. They don't tell you what you need to know. Right. It's what, first of all, never use the Premier League for statistical data. Right.
By the way, it's website, not website.
Thank you, Elias.
So what player comparison? So let's look at the Premier League website, right? So let's click here to add a player. Search. How do you spell this guy's name? Mertesacker? What a name, dude. Mertesacker.
That's what all the Arsenal fans are. Just kidding.
He's still he coaches in our academy.
He coaches at your academy or what?
Yes, Per Mertesacker coaches in our academy.
What a name, man!
I mean, did you not watch?
This is really fun.
Arsenal.
All right, so here let me switch screens. Present.
He was our captain for a while too.
I only watched that episode where Arteta said that.
So we're only looking at one season. So 2014-15 to, we say 2018-19, you said? Okay. So was it 2018-19 or 19-20? I can't remember.
1920. From a Spurs fan point of view, Per Mertesacker was actually really underrated.
Yeah, he was fine.
All right.
Didn't win anything big. Only won
So,
World Cup.
all right. So
Well,
I
for
gotta
Germany.
hide.
don't
I
really
gotta
care about
hide.
Germany.
I don't really care about this comparison either. But let's look at it. So clean sheets, Van Dijk had more, 15 to 12. Yellow cards, Van Dijk had less, 1 to 2. So that's two things. Van Dijk. Elias, keep track of Van Dijk on your hand. Where are you at?
Keep
Elias,
track of
Elias,
okay.
Elias is
Okay.
hiding.
All right.
Okay. I'll keep a track.
Okay. So Van Dijk had better clean sheet record, less goals
one.
conceded. Okay.
Okay.
Fewer blocks.
3.
Okay, no. So this is for Mertesacker. So TJ, you hold the Mertesacker ones on your other hand. Okay. So Van Dijk right now has got 2 points. Mertesacker's got 2 points. So he's got blocks, more interceptions, right? More tackles, more successful tackles. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 for Mertesacker, 3 for Van Dijk. Van Dijk had more less man tackles, right?
4.
So 4 to 4, right? Mertesacker had more clearances, more headed clearances, right? So that's 2 more. So that's what, 6 for Mertesacker, 4 for Van Dijk. Van Dijk had more aerial battles won, so that's 5 for Van Dijk. And then Van Dijk had 1 error leading to goal.
So, but that would go to Mertesacker, right?
Yeah,
Sorry,
Mertesacker. So 7 to 5. So yes, in this season, Mertesacker was a better defender than Virgil van Dijk. Okay, now, but so you have to look here. What are all of these numbers? Are any of these percentages, or are these all totals?
Totals.
Okay, and I'm going to tell you right now, in statistics, totals will get you in trouble real big time, right? It's just like I got to be careful what I say. I'm going to get myself canceled, right?
Everybody get ready with the clipping.
No, I'm trying to think of an analogy that doesn't get me canceled.
I thought you were already canceled.
Yeah, it happens. This is totals. This isn't okay. There's more statistics than these things. Okay, I'm not playing dumb and I'm not winning dumb, right? You're playing chess like a pigeon right now, my man. Right? You're running around the board, shitting all over the place, thinking that you won when you're about ready to get schooled on why totals are inaccurate. So I'm just gonna say it because it's the best one. The women's pay gap, right? In totality, women make less than men, right? But that devoids from any context or based on specific career fields. For an example, let's take the teaching career field. Do women make less than men in the teaching career field? No, not at all, right? Women make more than men do. Do men make more than women at oil rigging? Yes, right? Because so when you look at things in context and you look in percentages and you break the statistics down to the root of the argument, not the totality, right? There is a disparity. But there are some career fields where women make more than men. Childcare, teaching,
prostitution.
Thank you, Elias.
Thank you.
that was. Now I'm definitely canceled. Thank you for that. But there are some career fields, so you have to look at the same career field. You have to look at the same number of hours. You have to look at these things. So when we go from the Premier League, and this is why you don't use the Premier League for statistics, right? These are all total of tackles, right? For example, if you were to look at, say, Virgil van Dijk only had 23 tackles, and he made 23 tackles, and Mertesacker had 60 tackle attempts and only made 27, who's the better tackler? Virgil van Dijk, right? 23 out of 23 is 100% success rate. Whereas 60 out of 27 is less than 50%. Right, do you see why totals don't give you the context of what you're saying, who's better? Right? And that's why I use FBref instead, right? Where you can look at the defensive stats and we can see the tackle percentage, right? 46.2%. So if in that year, right? So look at, you get tackles, right? Tackles 112. So 23 tackles in total, 12 of those were 1. If Metasecker, right? So 23 attempts at a tackle. That's what the Premier League is recording, right? Because if you remember, this one here said 23. So those weren't even successful tackles. Those were just tackles attempted, right? Successful tackles 12, successful tackles 20, right? It doesn't tell you the total, right? Attempted. Where's the attempted statistic? What does this show you here that other site doesn't show you? Attempts, right? We don't know the attempts on the Premier League website. So we can't say out of 13 dribbles challenged, these are dribbles, right? Tackles, 1. Number of players tackled, right? Defensive third, mid third. We don't know the total number of attempts on the Premier League website. Lost 7. So out of 16, 13, he's 46.2%. 7 lost. So out of 13 attempts, he lost 7. He's got a 46.2% success rate. What if Metasecker is worse than that? Then who's the better tackler? We don't know. We don't know. Do Vertonghen or Outer? Like, you're trying to prove a point. The stats don't tell the whole story. You're going to end up losing.
Oh
right?
my god!
Just comparing defenders.
Can we go back to talking about our feelings again? I really enjoyed it when we did that.
What season for Jan Vertonghen? What was our best Spurs? What season did we get second again? 14, 15, 16, right? Or 16, 17?
16, 17.
Yeah, I remember.
So, is Kane invested or not invested after scoring 4 goals? And Ange says that he is invested in the project.
Can't do 16, 17.
I don't
Doesn't
believe
have the
that.
data.
You don't believe it? Ange says that he's invested in what we're doing here. He said it in his comments after the game.
It's because he's being paid to be invested.
There we go.
Right.
He's a professional athlete. He has to be invested.
Okay, so you think that Ange saying that Kane is invested in the project means that he is invested, and the conversations that he's had with Ange.
I think Ange had a bunch of cameras and mics thrown in his face. What do you think he's gonna say? He's gonna butt Kane.
It's a project. What project? What are we building up towards? If we already have Harry Kane, who's already a generational talent, what are we building up towards? What is the goal for this season? Is to get back in top 4? Is it to win a trophy?
Retrain Kane to play center back, so you guys can have a generational talent at center back.
Exactly.
So here's
Kane
an
is
example.
30 this season, and we're building to what?
I'm gonna do a quick example of this, and I'm gonna show you guys why the math doesn't lie here, right? So if you look at defensive actions, you look at challenges, and you look at tackle percentage. Jan Vertonghen was a better tackler of the football than Virgil van Dijk was, 69.4% to 46.2. And you'll say, well, Liverpool didn't have to face as many. Yeah, but this is a percentage, right? The number is irrelevant, right? We're looking at a percentage here, and this is why percentages are more impactful and more important in making a conclusion of who's better than who's not, right? You could do that toggle per 90, right? 69.4 to 46.2%. So that means that Jan Vertonghen in a tackle was better than Virgil van Dijk in challenging players in winning a tackle. Percentage of dribbles tackled and percentage of dribbles tackled, right? Period. You can think, oh, Virgil van Dijk's a better defender than Jan Vertonghen. Sorry, not this year.
Just think, man, we lost him. We still haven't even properly replaced him yet. It's crazy. Look how good that guy was. You think we would want to immediately try to have that resolved, try to have that fixed, and we still haven't even found a guy close enough to say he's a replacement. It's crazy. Crazy. 69, almost 70% tackles. That's haven't even gotten a replacement.
Yeah.
Van de Ven is the replacement. I forgot. I'm sorry. No, because Van de Ven can run fast. He's the replacement. I forgot. My fault.
And we only need Van de Ven. That's it. All
Exactly. Yeah. Nobody else either. Just Van de
Nobody
Ven.
else needed. Just save the day. We can keep all the other guys and just add Van de Ven, and we're all good.
Top four.
By the way, I'm just curious. Who's the other guy that just joined?
Cold shot, but he hasn't said nothing.
Okay.
Is Dietrich's alive?
I don't know. He's probably at the gym.
He's probably out checking out the sites in Munich right now.
He's out in
Ranking
Munich wearing his Arsenal shirt.
Probably because Tottenham didn't want to sell him. There's an easy reason. This is just a particular season, 1920. Why are you saying? Right? In fact, people don't even rate Virgil van Dijk that high anymore. He had like one boss season. Right? Everybody lost their minds, and they thought he was the best defender since who?
Why are we talking about Van Dijk?
Because people want to discredit statistics and say that you can tell with the eye test that Van Dijk was such an amazing defender that any other defender you put up against them, even if they have better statistics, that's why statistics are dumb. Or maybe it's the fact that you think Van Dijk's the best defender that's dumb. Do you ever think about that? Because even if you do the math here on the tackles, right? Like the tackles versus tackles won, right? So this is the same block, same numbers. Look at the numbers. Do the math. 1.8 divided by 1.15 gives you 63-ish%, right? 0.61 to 0.32 is just over 50%. So if Jan Vertonghen won 63% of his tackles and Van Dijk only won 51% of his tackles, who's the better tackler?
Can you check who had the most clean sheets that season?
Clean sheets are a team with the thing, dude, not an individual. We're talking about individuals, not the team that they played on.
It's not Fantasy Premier League, by the way, mate.
Because if you want to go off clean sheets, then Virgil van Dijk was better than the Arsenal bloke that you talked about.
Yeah,
anyway,
because Per Mertesacker played on the Wenger, and Wenger only cared about Champions League top 4.
So we have talked about this a lot, and I know this is your show, Will, but we have a new guest that came on, and he wants to talk about our lack of a number 6. And I feel like he hasn't said anything. So
talk. You got to jump in there and get some man smell.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk about how we lack a number 6, and I really hate the fact that West Ham have bidded for Edson Alvarez. I think he's R6, and they bid it for 25 million. I think we should hijack the deal. I'm gonna be so mad because he's Mexican, so I always want a Mexican to represent the Premier League, and I just think he's his stats look great. I don't see any flaws in him. And I just believe that he could be our number 6. So I don't know. I just think we lack a 6, and that's really going to hurt us throughout the season.
Wait, Alvarez to where? Where is he going?
He's West Ham have has submitted a bid for 25.
Where does he play now?
Ajax.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. I think he's an amazing player, and I think Chelsea wanted to go for him, but I think that was when they were spending crazy money in the winter. So I don't know. I think we'll be really missing out because I don't think I think they don't even want to like keep him. I think they want him gone. So I don't know. I think it's just a missed opportunity, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you know what else is a missed opportunity? Tyler Adams. Tyler Adams. Now Chelsea are looking at Tyler Adams, and that's a missed opportunity because he has a release clause. He doesn't want to stay at Leeds because he doesn't want to play in the championship. Like JWP, who is currently playing in the championship. Just saying, James Ward-Prowse is playing in the championship. English fan.
So,
Do you think we're interested in doing any more business this summer? Do you think after signing Van de Ven that was it? We asked for the center back, we got the center back. Now be happy with what we got. Do you think we're gonna spend any more money?
Thank you, my man. You have a bit of money too, I hope. Not from me, but I hope you get some somewhere else. But thank you, Mr. Swifty. But Alvarez, for me, I'm just looking at him. Like, I know because I've seen him playing in CONCACAF and stuff like that. He played in the Gold Cup. So I know what you're talking about. I don't know much about his club stuff. But just looking at a quick overview, it looks like he's a comparable player to Tyler Adams. I mean, defensively, he's a 65. Adams is a 64. Tactically, he's a 57. Adams is a 58. It looks like he may not be as necessarily creative. Like, it just looks like he doesn't play like a lot of assists. Like, Adams is a little bit better in creativity, but Alvarez is a little bit better in the attacking, going forward. And then in the technical ability, he seems to be like a pretty good dribbler of the ball, like better than Adams, like on the ball itself. So, and it looks like his strengths are ball control and positioning. So, yeah, 25 million.
The thing with those stats is like it doesn't say Alvarez also plays center back.
Well, yeah, it says he had center midfield or midfield center, like, or a defensive midfielder. It doesn't say that he played that many fixtures as a defender.
Yeah, I think he's just like a versatile player in general because when Tata Martinez used him, a lot of the
because
times
Mexico doesn't really have any center backs, right? So
yeah.
Well, Cold Shot, I have a question for you. If you think we need a 6, which I would agree, but if you think we need a 6, and let's say we were to get Alvarez or 6 or something, who would you sell if you had to sell one of our midfielders? Who would you sell?
Oh, I would sell Højbjerg to Atletico Madrid. I don't think he wants to like really be here anymore. I think he wants to like play in the Champions League. So I think I don't know. I'm not a really big fan of Højbjerg, so I don't know. I think he would probably be the one going. I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'd sell. I mean, anybody. You sell Skip. You could sell Højbjerg. You could sell. Because you really need one backup, right? So, any one of those two. Papa Matasar, even. Papa Matasar.
I wouldn't sell.
He's got I think he's got the best ceiling for us. So, but yeah,
I wouldn't sell him.
Højbjerg. Although Højbjerg, when you look at the numbers and you look what the guy does on the pitch, man, he's been.
Yeah, I think he's a workhorse. Yeah,
he's really underrated by our fan base, I think.
Or maybe we should just let go of Dembele, because like he hasn't really like played anything and he got injured. So I would rather keep Giovanni than Dembele.
And Dembele, yeah,
of course,
yeah.
Højbjerg would get more money probably, even though than Dembele. That's the thing too. So.
I mean, there are some like Ndombele stands out there, but I think a lot of people would want to get rid of Ndombele at this point. So you would keep Lo Celso over Ndombele? Is that what everybody kind of feels?
Yeah. Yeah,
I
just he at least like showed like ability, so I don't know. I haven't seen anything from Ndombele to like say really much about anything about him, of how he's gonna fit the system at all. He's just ended up injured, so I don't know. I just lost hope on him.
Yeah, I don't know. He's been having injury. It's what? A lot of our players that are sort of deadwood players, a lot of them have injuries. And the problem with them having injuries, not only are they not, helpful or useful to us, obviously, but even us trying to move them on is like a challenge because they're all injured, so like they are not passing medicals, you know, and like clubs, even if they were willing to maybe come in for them if they were fit, don't want to come in for an injured player. So we just constantly have these players that we want to get rid of, and they're just always injured. Like, is the constant thing. Like,
I think,
but that's when
the same problem that Arsenal do, is that you want to move these players out, but there really isn't a lot of genuine interest either.
But yeah, but that's when the club needs to step up and do, for example, what Arsenal did. You got to step up and just say, we got to terminate some of these contracts. We're just going to take these L's and we have to move forward. If there's no business that can be done, then you just have to take the loss. But I don't think Levy or anyone really in this ownership is showing that they will want to take the loss on these players, because they've kept them here for so long. So it's like they rather just wait, I guess, for someone to come in, and even then, if they give them a lowball price, you know.
Well, I mean, but some of them, we should just let them. We should just rip up their contracts, not only because they're shit, but also because they're like in their last year anyway. Like, how are we making money off of Ndombele? His wages are high. Nobody's coming in for him right now, and he's only got 1 year left on his contract.
Well, the things with those is if you can get them to go out on loan, usually the club you loan them to pays their wage or a part of their wages. So you do, because if you cancel the contract, you got to pay them out the whole year of their wages, right? So that's the only business side of a thing. Effectively, it's the same, right? Because we're not using them. But from a financial standpoint, there is an argument to be made that, loaning them out is better than selling them, because the loanee club, usually there's a loan fee plus, a portion of the wages. Ndombele, because he makes so much, never goes on 100%. Some clubs will pay 100% of the wages, depending on, what the wages are, right?
But I'm just, at this point, I mean, we got a couple of weeks left, in the transfer window. I'm just like.
Yeah, so like for the example is if you they can get loaned out. The window doesn't end until September, right? So that's a lot of times you start seeing the loan deals happen like after the season starts, right? Because people are just getting players off their books. Mm-hmm. But now there is an argument that if you can only loan out a certain amount of players, and there are other players who you necessarily aren't ready for this season, but you think that maybe they have potential in the future, that it would be worth then, regardless of the amount of wages that you have to pay out to Ndombele, to just tear his contract out then. But those are the kind of risk and reward scenarios that you kind of have to run when you're making those decisions. So, or 1 September, yeah. But
I just want some of that dead wood out.
I want all that dead wood out. I like, even if you're selling them off for £5 million, right? That's better. That you don't have to pay the year of wages, and you don't have to pay, and you're getting you're recouping some of the costs that you've had to have them out on loan for 2 seasons, 3 seasons now.
Yeah, club has to be willing. We got to be willing to do this, and it just doesn't seem like
the player,
we are.
Unfortunately for all of us, the player has to be willing too. And when we buy these junk players and offer them huge wages, then the clubs that are even interested slightly in buying them don't want to pay him that much. And so the player doesn't want to leave, because he makes more money just sitting his ass on the bench than he does going to another club and playing. See, that's the difference. Some players could give a crap about playing. You got Gareth Bale, for example, and just want to sit on the bench and play golf and make, hundreds of thousands of pounds a week. To be honest with you, I don't blame him, to be honest with you. Because if I sucked too, and I knew that, and I was going to have to, go get cut basically and drop down to a lower team or a worser team, I'm going to collect all the money that I can before I get shipped off to because you can always play on a bad team for low wages. You know what I mean? There's not a whole lot of age limit on that.
It's called stealing a living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, for me, the most exciting transfer announcement that we had all summer so far for me, when it was announced that Harry Winks was going to go to Leicester on a permanent, I was like, that is the most exciting announcement.
As well. I loved it.
I was more excited about that than the Madison signing because I was like, yes, finally, somebody left on a permanent.
You know, the day we'll get Eric Dyer out, I'll be so happy. I tell you, I'll be so happy the day Eric Dyer leaves.
He's gonna run out his contract. There's nobody wants him.
Yeah,
I just saw somebody in there saying, "Why is Dyer still here?" Nobody wants him. He's like Rob Holding.
We can send him to Wrexham or something.
No,
we can send him to Wrexham. Right?
Let me know.
How dare you?
Let's live in reality here. Let's live in reality here. Dyer will probably end up in Saudi Arabia, but not right away.
We can send Dyer to Wrexham in exchange of CQ.
We don't want him at Wrexham.
Yeah. He's probably not good enough for Wrexham, if we're being honest.
Are you sure he's going to Saudi Arabia? I don't know. He might go to the
I was joking about that. I was joking about that. He's probably would get interest from the Turkish league. I mean, Rob Holding's getting interest from the Turkish league.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't Eric Dyer?
Yeah, I think Turkish league.
Yeah. Well, as long as they're not here.
I still can't believe Zaha went to this Turkish league.
Zaha would have been. Oh, how could we let him go?
Yeah.
How could you let a player like
There's
that?
a lot of.
I can't believe that.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. You could go.
No, I can't. I share in that, and I'm still a little peeved that Arsenal didn't try to make a move for him because we still need a number 9 that doesn't get injured. Like,
so
I don't understand how you let that guy leave the Premier League. There must be something that we don't know. Sorry, go ahead, Cube.
Oh no, sorry. So I was gonna say. So I said this on in chats and stuff, but this is the first time I'll be able to say this. What we should have done, okay, Harry Kane's leaving. What we should have done is we should have gotten Zaha on a free, Kamada on a free, and then we should have gone in for Tony in January. That's what we should have done because we would have been able to come out ahead financially and spend that money on center backs because we would have sold Kane for good money. We wouldn't have spent on Zaha or Kamada. Yes, we would have to spend on Tony in January, but I think Zaha and Kamada with our existing, with Sonny and everything, and Decky, and Madison, that would tide us over for the first half of the season. Mm-hmm. To be able to just keep us going, and then in time for Tony to slot in January. That's what I would have done. I have no idea why we didn't go for Zaha on a free or Kamada on a free either. When the AC Milan deal fell through, we should have went and hijacked that shit. I don't know what he's doing. He went to Lazio, which I know they got Europe, but still, I'm like, dang, why didn't we just go in for that?
Isn't Lazio in Champions League as well?
That's what I mean. I know they got Europe, but they're still. It's not like they're a top club or anything. I feel like we could have made a bid for him.
Lazio,
and he has versatility. The thing about Zaha and Kamada, they both have a lot of versatility. They can move positions, so they can play any of the front three. They can play a 10. Also, if Madison gets injured, Kamada could slot into that 10 role. Decky could slot into the 10 role.
Kamada just went to a place on a free.
That's what I'm saying. That was my point that I said. I said we should have gotten Kamada and Zaha on freeze.
Yeah, Kamada's a good player.
So all of them, like Kamada and Zaha, they can play all these different positions. So if Madison's injured, Decky could slot into that 10 role. Kamada could slot into that 10 role. They can play on either side, either wing. There's so much versatility with those
Kamada
options.
on a free would have been way better than Solomon on a free. I can tell you that much right fucking now.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe nobody went for Milinkovic-Savic any top club.
He never wanted. He never wanted to. He was in it for the money. He never wanted to play serious. I don't think he was even never going to leave Italy. But he was never going to come to the Premier League. I don't understand it. It seems like everybody and their mother was linked to Milinkovic-Savic at one point, but he just never wanted to come here, and off Saudi Arabia for the money.
That was the most outrageous.
Some players did legitimately sell out.
Yeah, that was the most outrageous to me. That was the most outrageous Saudi signing was Milivojevic Savic, because I was like, I don't think it was a situation at all. Exactly, I agree with you, TJ, that nobody was coming in for him. Everybody wants him, but then
Everybody
he's just
wanted
like,
him.
and he's so young still too, and he just decided to sell out. I think he's probably the most shocking, and then runner up with that
I
is
mean, that's
Neves.
I mean, he's going to get generational wealth, though. That's the money is too much for these guys to ignore in most cases. Like,
Well,
that
it
is
was the,
generational wealth. Go ahead. Sorry.
It was the same thing with Ruben Neves, right? Because he ended up going to Saudi.
Exactly.
And it's like, I know, actually, I can't remember what Premier League teams were linked with him, but I think there was a couple of teams that were linked with him, but he ended up going to Saudi, and he's pretty young too. I don't even think he's like close to his 30s yet.
A lot of my friends, actually, I want to look that up. A lot of people in the Arsenal circles were crying out for Neves too.
Oh, Neves had a lot to choose from, but he actually gave an interview, or like he made comments afterwards where he was like, kind of like, I made this choice for my family. Like, if this is a personal choice. And he kind of like alluded to, yeah, he did do it for money, and but he needs to make the choice. He just needs to make the choice.
But I mean, yeah, like you said, TJ, when you get that generational wealth, I mean, some players, that's what they did it for. That's what they pushed themselves to this moment, is to be able to make the generational wealth. Sometimes it's not all about just winning the Champions League and, trying to play on Real Madrid. Sometimes they say, I'm going to get good to save my family and get them out of certain situations and give them generational wealth. So I mean, I can't hold it against them. Everybody has
you can't hold it against them, and then people will bring up the human rights violations in Saudi Arabia and all this stuff, sports washing, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, these guys are trying to earn a living for their families. So
Jonas here, let me just say, so Kamada, yes, he did go to Lazio, which is what I said. So he was tied to linked to AC Milan, and then the deal fell through. And so after the deal fell through, I said that we should have swooped in and got him on that free, but instead he went to Lazio.
But Zaha, man, that was a huge loss. I was thinking someone was going to snag him, but that just shows you that even if you think that Levy's trying to just penny pinch, but trying to do the best business for Tottenham, you have free players that were available right there, better than what we had on our team. They're available free, and there's no links, no negotiations, no nothing. Sitting in the same league, sitting in the same city as you, a London team. And he's sitting there on a free, just waiting to be picked up. I'm sure he would still want to play in the Premier League. Yes, he'd be playing for a rival team, but I mean,
well, with Zaha, I mean, yes, his wages would have been a little higher than like Solomon or whatever, but he's proven he's a good player. He's started for a Prem team, and he's been in the Prem for a while, and so he's been proven out. So I don't understand why, if we were going to pick a player to go for that was free, why wouldn't we go for Zaha?
Probably because
over Solomon. Solomon had a loan deal with Fulham that he was injured for a lot of that anyways.
I think they're looking more long term than Zaha is the problem. Is now you got this new manager in, you got this new system that he's trying to employ. You're just putting a band-aid. You're just putting a band-aid over a problem if you go and get a Zaha. Like my deal, that's why I wanted him at Arsenal so much, is that we have a scratch that we just need a Band-Aid for a while before we can go out and get a big striker.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Why not get Zaha? You guys are looking for a long-term striker, though. Like, after Harry Kane leaves, you're looking to develop somebody, right? Zaha isn't going to be that guy. Zaha is going to plug a hole while you guys try to find somebody else. But you guys
Zaha's a winger,
yeah,
really a striker.
Yeah. But we weren't going for somebody else. We weren't sure if Harry Kane was staying or going, right? So I'm saying this, it's like, if we're not going in for Zaha as a tide over until we find that guy that's going to be the guy in the, early stages of his career or whatever. I guess we're getting this Argentinian striker who I don't know if he's good or not. But like Zaha was a great choice for a couple of years, and then like I said, we would go in for Tony, we could go in for somebody else. That's the Band-Aid we needed.
Well, no, and I have another question too. Is why are teams not throwing the kitchen sink at Manchester City for Julian Alvarez? Why?
What?
I mean, they just signed him. I
Because
don't
they
think
probably
I don't think they're not selling
I
him.
don't care. Pay the money. Pay the money. That kid is going to be huge. He already is. I would.
They're not selling him.
I know they aren't. That's what I'm saying. But everybody has a price, right? That's all I'm saying.
No, they won't sell him.
They won't sell him. I don't think for any amount of money.
I think he's going
like
to
a
be that
future
Aguero replacement for them. I think he's going to turn into one of them.
They already have Holland. Why would they need him?
No,
Because I think he's just waiting in the
striker.
wings. He's just developing right now. I mean, you
He's
see how
different.
good he is right now, and they don't even technically need him. So it's like he's just gonna keep cooking. He's gonna keep cooking. So if Holland does eventually want to move on from Man City, which I don't think he will, but in any instance, you just have both of them. You have both
Yeah, and
of them. Just like
Holland
how you have-
Holland gets injured. Holland gets injured. He's been getting injured. Like last season got injured. They have lots of games as well. So I mean, like, why wouldn't Alvarez stay? He just won a treble. He won football. So he won
He
treble.
literally
He
won
won a
everything
World
you can win in
Cup,
football.
too.
World
I'm
Cup.
just saying.
That's what I said. He won full football, all of football, basically.
Mhm.
Will, is it Hoiberg written on your shirt or something?
No.
It looks like it, like from this angle, like Julian Berg, because your mic was covering.
J. Lindbergh. It's not. J. Period Lindbergh.
Big up BX Gunner every time.
It's
I see
like
I see a lot of good people in the chat.
Like a fashion golf brand. I mean, they like do golf and snowboarding, but it's like high fashion golf and snowboarding.
Oh, they have a clothing store in my city as well. I didn't know that. Okay,
But
check them out.
yeah.
All this talk of statistics and facts makes me really tired. I think I'm going to retire. Everybody, I have work tomorrow.
Well, I mean, I think we can close it down because I mean, it's these things. We should probably shut the show down before because these numbers are burning a hole in my pocket.
Oh, Eugene hasn't come on yet.
My hyper focus OCD is burning a hole in my pocket.
Eugene hasn't called in from the car, but I'm not going to wait for him to go.
We're not going to wait for him either. But no, and then Rin Ketik and Cold Shot, thanks for calling in, and I hope you Rin Ketik, I hope you don't take it personal. I don't think you're a bad guy.
I think
I'm just a very I'm a dick. So
Will gets in a fight with AI. Will got
I said all the
literally got in a fight with Chat GPT. So this is new.
What?
Yeah.
That's how much of a dick he is.
I got into a debate with Chat GPT and I won, by the way.
And he won the debate.
That's good.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
And I got into a heated debate with heated debate with Stefan as well. Not as big of a challenge as Chat GPT. But that Hoiberg was as good as Declan Rice, and I won that one as well.
I could have won that one. That's bad.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I just don't think people know, and I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna show them because, like I said, it's burning a hole in my pocket. Just so people can see, and that's what I was talking about before. Over the last 5 years, non-penalty goals and assists per 90. Who's helped Tottenham score more? Son, this is what I'm saying. People don't realize this crap. Like, it is what it is. This is, you can see from the top here. It says from 2018-19 on. Harry Kane versus Son, goals and assists minus PK per 90 minutes. Son contributes more than Kane does. When you look at goals to shot on target ratio, Son converts more. Goals per shot, Son converts more. Goals minus XG, Son is more clinical. right? This is what I'm saying. People don't realize this stuff, and they like to crap on them. And what they'll do is they'll look at the totals, and they'll say, see, Harry Kane scored 105 over 73. Yeah, but that's because he takes what? Look at the amount of shots that he takes over Son, 563 to 388. But if you look at the numbers, the percentages, if Son had 563 shots, he would have scored more goals than Harry Kane. That's just the facts, based on the numbers.
I'm so glad you got that out. I'm so glad you got that out.
People don't realize it though. People just don't realize they don't think, it doesn't click in their brain that's that's the thing. Like people don't even realize too that like when you look at number of interceptions, tackles plus interceptions, and you look at what's another one that people don't look at, receiving. People don't realize that Harry Kane gets dispossessed more than Son does. Like everybody always says, the Son can't take on a man. You look at successful take-ons. He's 53.2 to 48.1, right? He gets tackled 4% less than Harry Kane does. He has number of times a player failed. Like how many first touch? That's what I'm talking about. This is miscontrols. That's what first touch is. People don't realize the Son has a better first touch than Harry Kane.
I never understood that. Son is always shown to be a little
Yeah,
bit sick on the
I
ball.
don't know how to
never
figure
thought
out
why
if
people
that's that.
thought
Now I
Harry
know.
Kane would be better.
I actually agree on that one. Son is like better dribbler and ball controlling than Harry.
Yeah.
Who is this talking?
It's just the fact what it is. Son makes longer runs, right? He receives more balls, right? He's got a better first touch, better at the runs. But when people are saying Son can't take on a man, why? Name a player you want me to compare Son to in take-ons, and I guarantee you Son's numbers are right there with his. This is what I'm saying. People just they have this preconceived notion in their brain, and they think that this is the case because it's, they don't dive deep enough into the numbers to think, who would have thought that Son Heung-min has contributed more per 90 to the goal contributions than Harry Kane over the past 5 years? That's including last season, by the way.
Feelings.
Who would have thought it? Nobody. You couldn't have found me one Spurs fan who would have said Son contributes more to goals and assists than Harry Kane has over the past 5 years per 90.
I think you have a Son agenda, Will.
I don't have a Son agenda. That's just the facts.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm lying.
TJ's like, don't come for me. Don't come for me.
I've got FB ref.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
I've got FB ref on speed dial, and I always tell him, hey, yo, this is your boy Will. Alter the stats for me real quick so I can pull them up and mud people on YouTube.
TJ was real quick to. I didn't. I was just joking. I was just joking. Don't come for me.
Well, they're great together. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I don't want to get rid of either of them. I wish both of them would stay. But Harry Kane wants to leave. Son doesn't. Son signed a 4 or 5 year contract right in the middle of our lowest point.
Yeah, we were in the mud, and he signed it.
We were in the mud, and he signed it. Right.
We were in the woods,
and then Saudi Arabia came and offered him ridiculous amount of wages.
Nah.
And he said, "No, not for me. I got things to do at Tottenham." What's Harry Kane doing? He wants to go to Bayern Munich. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It sounds like Son agenda to me, Will.
Those are just facts, my man. Those are just facts. Right?
Will,
Son Heung-min has 5
desperate.
rows. Son Heung-min has 5 rows of shirts in the club shop. Harry Kane has 1. That's all I'm saying.
That's an agenda also.
Okay, all right. No, I can't get into the agenda talk. Will, thank you for having me on as usual. I will see everybody on Tottenham away Thursday. I'm shamelessly plugging the show. North London is ours Thursday.
Great show. Everybody should watch it.
9:30. Everybody with my boy Mari. We're gonna mud the wrongins. We're gonna talk facts all the time.
Bye, TJ.
Goodbye, everybody.
I got to get onto that show sometime, TJ, at some point. But
no, you have to. You have to. It has to happen. And I need you and Stefan, and I'm just gonna sit back and watch the views go.
Oh, that'll be so fun. That's the one I want to be on. Stefan's got to be on that show. I was disappointed. I was disappointed by the Stefan and the Mr. Box Office role. I was there with my popcorn, and I was let down. but I need to get
Well,
because I know I can rile Stefan up.
I just need to ask more triggering questions, but I just wasn't in the mood. All right, I'll see you guys later.
All right, we're gonna end it
Bye.
too. Folks at home, thank you very much for watching. We will be back Tuesday night after the Barcelona game.
Tuesday night?
Yep, Tuesday night.
Is it?
Yeah, Elias, we don't live where you live, bud. We're a day behind you in the time zones. It's Tuesday for us. Just because it's Wednesday for you doesn't mean anything.
Oh no, then I can't join because Wednesday is my more working morning.
Oh.
I hate my job sometimes.
But anyway, that's when we'll be back. Thank you guys very much for watching the show, smashing that like button, subscribing, and all that BS. Tomorrow night we've got the Monday night podcast, and yeah.
And Stal is going live today as well at 4 p.m. He's doing his an hour with Stal.
Yeah,
Stal is
Stel,
going live.
an hour with Stel. There's a bunch of things, like maybe even a Harry Kane go away show, like if it happens tomorrow. There's like 5 different shows scheduled for tomorrow at the back end of this StreamYard deal. So yeah, be ready for those. Thank you guys very much for watching. Yeah, and if I triggered you tonight, that's okay.
You're welcome. If he triggered you tonight, you're welcome. Is what he's trying to say.
Yeah. Welcome to the club. There's a long line of people that get annoyed with me. That's okay. I don't like. Hey, you are. If you know, you gotta embrace who you are. And Cube says I'm a dick. So
you are a dick.
I embrace it. Man. I embrace it. You're gonna be a dick. You gotta be a good one, right?
Yeah.
Don't want to. If you don't want to be a little dick, right? You just want to be. If you're gonna be a dick, you might as well be a big one, right?
How big? How many?
No,
Yeah.
Elias, no.
Just saying. That's it.
No.
We'll be back later. Stay strong. Stay Spurs. We'll see all of you folks next time. We out here.